What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Fantasy Couch podcast. We're here to talk about fantasy football. We just got done watching the Thursday night football game. Pretty disappointing Thursday night football games all this year, and that was a boring game. We got two teams, Falcons and Panthers, that have no chance of doing anything in the postseason, right?
Yeah, they're both pretty much gunning for that first pick or for a quarterback, I would think,
Well, they
especially
don't know
after
what they're
today's games.
doing.
Yeah, they don't even know what they're doing. It's
They're
pretty bad.
they're like the
It's
guy
rough.
we just kicked out of the
Of
Dynasty League.
yeah. Oh
Ooh,
boy.
hopefully he's
Oh
not
ho ho
listening.
ho.
So no, we have the Couch Dynasty League, and I had to make a tough decision. We just kicked somebody out. Nothing personal. He's a great dude. Good chance he's probably pissed at me now. But it is what it is. We had to make a move. So there's an opening available. We have a couple people in mind, a couple candidates. Drew, our producer, we'd like to have him in the league. If not, the guy we kicked out, his name is Bob, and so we can replace him with another Bob. So we have Bob number one, obviously. He's the
Right.
main
Of
Bob.
course.
So Bob
Of
number
course.
one could replace Bob number two, and Bob number one is our number two candidate behind Drew. And then number three, we could just open it up to the Couch fam and see who gets in. I'd really want to do that, but at the same time, it's probably better if we get Drew in because we know what we're getting. It's pretty weird, man. We got like over 90% of Couch fam is amazing, but sometimes we get some weird, you never know who you're gonna get.
Couple stray guys here and there. I feel you.
Yeah, it's like our batting percentage is amazing. Like we do great. I love the Couch fam. But there's always like, what do we call them? Like without saying anything bad, people, different types of folk
Loose
that
cannon? I don't know.
loose. Yeah,
Maybe not loose cannon.
that sounds bad. I don't want to be because if you're a loose cannon and someone calls you a loose cannon,
Yeah,
and
that's
like
true.
you'll probably start knocking on my door right now, like while I'm doing the podcast. That's what a loose cannon does when you call them.
That's true though.
I've experienced my first year of college. This guy was just going nuts, and then I told him something. I said,
And he
chill
was
out,
worse.
stop tweaking, and then he totally flipped out, and I had to run away
Popped
from him.
off. Oh,
Yeah,
boy.
he just went off. Like, so
That's not
yeah,
fun.
no, there's no loose cannons ever. Yeah. But some people just aren't, like league material, whatever you are, just not fit to be in a dynasty league. And you replaced the guy in the Couch Empire League, and we got to replace the guy now. So there is an opening to our Couch Dynasty League. So maybe Drew is in. Drew, let me know. Are you in? Would you be down? That's what people are. Oh, he's saying he's in. Okay, in our private. Say it on the public chat. Oh, there he is. I'm in. All right, so we'll probably get him. Because I don't want to kick out another guy.
Yeah,
I
hear you.
don't like these type of interactions. I don't like confrontations or nothing. But it had to be done. You said nobody likes him, but I don't know. I feel like some people do love it.
What do you mean nobody likes him? Is that what I said?
You said nobody likes these type of like confrontations where you got to kick out somebody.
Not many people do. I don't. I would imagine. Like it's not fun to be put in that situation. And as the commissioner, I mean, it's kind of your responsibility to do that when something kind of goes south. And in this case, you had, I think, multiple people complain to you, and then I don't know what your process was of doing this, but I think you also had kind of, got the temperature of the room for the rest of the league, and everyone else is kind of on board with it. So
yeah, I messaged everybody, especially
Yeah.
this league. This league is for the people.
I was going to say earlier, this is a pretty important league for you too,
Well, it's for the
people,
community,
right?
for the people,
Community.
for the brand
community.
and for the community.
Right.
Yeah, it's a community league. So it's like if even if I knew something was wrong, but if all 11 other people wanted it, I'd let them have it because I'm like, this is your league. Obviously, I have to, that's when you're a commissioner, there is always a certain level of dictatorship. It's just my advice is always like to bring that facade that it's always a democracy. But no matter how much of a democracy you have, there's always a level of dictatorship. You just have to, like, if there's like something that's total BS, you got to do it. You got to make tough decisions. Not everything can come to a vote where like a certain
A
number means
decisive
you
vote,
do
yeah.
something. You can
I get
always vote, get, like you said, get the temperature of the room. That's smart to do that with just about everything, but you have to make decisions. You can't just like ask for people and then like make a decision. Like you got to do it. And it was tough. And it's tough to kick somebody out that's actually seems like a cool dude. Like when there is as you would call it, a loose cannon. That's your words, not mine.
That's my words. That's
When you have
100%
a
my too.
when you
Yep.
have a really loose cannon, those are easier to remove from your league. But when it's a cool guy like this, it was tough, but had to do what I had to do. And we kicked him out. I forgot. No, the thing. So when I got the temperature of the room, it was pretty much agreed upon that we should remove this guy. But at the same time, I think most people thought he was a cool guy. It's just better for the league that we had to remove him. And this truly is not a draw. I didn't even think we'd talk about this. It just came up. It's on top of my head. Like this is not like a drama thing. I think this is a topic. It was hard to remove the guy, and it's hard for me to talk about it, but it's something that I think is very important. And to survive in a dynasty league, like these things are necessary. I'm really in two like traditional dynasty leagues. So I'm in 4 dynasty leagues, but 2 of them are high stakes, and I don't really count that. They're like public leagues on FFPC. So the other 2 leagues that I created in our couch, and we had to remove one person in each league. So I assume this is kind of like a norm. Is that right?
Yeah,
I mean, you're
this
in a
happened
bunch of time.
a lot of times for me too. So yeah, it's definitely not something uncommon. You shouldn't feel bad about it because like, hey, your league, like both of the leagues I'm in, had the guy replaced. Like it's something that kind of happens for some reason or another. I mean, sometimes people just kind of they grow up a little bit, they get other responsibilities in life, and they just can't do a dynasty league anymore. I've had people leave for that reason. I've had people leave for the reason that why you removed this guy from the league. He was making really, really bad one-sided deals that kind of, at that point, it was just ruining the league. I've had a guy that I've had to remove for that same reason, and also just kind of general behavior. The guy is a loose cannon in the 100 percent perfect sense of loose cannon. And, we've had to remove guys like that too. So there's different reasons, but it's not an uncommon thing where someone leaves the league or multiple people leave the league and you have to find replacements.
Is it somewhat healthy, like shave, like when you trim off like dead skin, or like apply, like is it kind of is like a
Yeah,
maintenance,
yeah,
like a
it's like a
maintenance
maintenance
type of
check
deal?
for sure.
Because if
I
it's
hear you.
worse, that means the league ends, right? Like if there's not a healthy thing like this going on where you remove a guy like once every 5 years or something, like
Well,
what
it's
could
not even that
happen
you
was
have
the
to
league
remove a
just
guy.
ends.
Yeah. You don't necessarily have to remove a guy every, once every 5 years or something like that, but you're gonna have these situations come up where like, you might find one guy who like, okay, maybe he kind of, first year of the dynasty league, he kind of sold out to win. And now he's kind of sitting idly by, like, hasn't really done anything. The whole roster's kind of a waste.
It's case
Maybe
by
one of
case,
those
huh?
is case by
Yeah.
case, right?
There's those types. You just named another
Yeah.
type.
That's another type, right?
That's
Inactive. Yeah.
that's like the D Wiz type. Now D Wiz is that type, and he's also the loose cannon type.
He's
He's
a
2
number
types
of
in
types.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's he's
Oh
a
man,
split
he's all of it in
personality.
one
Yeah, he's
somehow.
all yeah. So I get it. But when I was hearing other fantasy analysts talk that are dynasty freaks, they say like often their dynasty leagues end because they do. It's all about quantity for they're just dynasty freaks. They do too many dynasty leagues, and sometimes the league just falls apart where like 6, 7, 8 people just kind of quit on the league.
Yeah,
Um,
that's when a whole league would fall apart. At that point, it's hard to replace 8 to 9 guys in a 12-team league. That's the majority of the league at that point. It's going to be best for you to just probably find a new batch of people and then just start anew.
That's what
But,
I don't want. I
yeah,
don't want that because I'm all about quality over quantity. And when I try my very best when I do open up a league for subscribers, for followers. I call Couch Fam Community League for you guys. I try to make it a good experience. And I've been very successful at it. Overall, it's been very good. Obviously, I'm not perfect. I'm never going to be perfect. I am going to make mistakes and screw up, but everybody knows, and like it's overwhelming. They trust me and they know that I'm going to do my best as a commish so that everyone has fun. It's fair. Like I don't cheat, I don't like abuse my powers. We try to make it the best experience. I mean, and I promise that, and I'll always do that. And that's why I don't want to just start a dynasty league every month. And I know that half of them would just cease to exist. That's not experience. That's not quality. That's not that VIP experience we promise with Couch Fam leagues.
That's why it's
Well,
very important to, get the right league mates. I think you had a dynasty kind of tips video that you made. I don't know how many years back, maybe a couple of
somebody
years
just
now.
checked it out. It's like past 40,000 views, like 40,
There you go.
50,000
Yeah, I
views.
think
It's
I think
good.
the first tip you have is find the right group of guys, and that's important because I mean, it doesn't matter where you play. You can play on ESPN, Sleeper, NFL. It doesn't matter if the guys that you have are not going to last. The league's not going to last. It doesn't matter where it is. It doesn't matter what the settings are. All of that's going to go to waste because the right guys are not in it. So that's the very first step. You got to find the right group of people. And
I,
like you said, I mean, you were doing a pretty good job. Obviously, no one is perfect. That's why I said earlier that it's very common that you're going to find leagues have to replace a manager every so often, maybe a couple in a given year. But I mean it's a normal thing, and that's why it's you want to avoid that situation where you have 8 or 9 guys, like you said earlier, leave at one period of time, and the best way to do that is to find the right group of people from the jump. So I think that's probably the best piece of advice in a dynasty league, and that's one of the first things you say.
We got an important question. Someone's asking how they turn off slow mode. You cannot. So we are a top 1% podcast here, and we do have a lot of crazy spam, like really weird, like racist, sexist comments and stuff. And so I just adjusted a couple settings and it's gone. So you cannot turn it on. And I think slow mode's only 5 seconds. I think you'll be good. Should be 5 seconds, right, guys?
Yeah, you
It's
just gotta
not
wait a
5.
little bit to after your
Did
first
I
comment.
did I
You
set
know,
it at
that's all.
5 minutes? Like what's I think it's only at 5 seconds. Let me know on YouTube. On YouTube, is it at 5 seconds?
Yeah, if it's 5 minutes, that's an issue.
5 minutes, it's
That's a
game over.
big problem.
5 seconds is nothing. Like we're cool. So Jeremy's down if Drew's not in. I think Drew's gonna be in.
No, this is a conversation maybe for another day, but that roster is in pretty bad shape. I'm not gonna lie.
This is
It's got some
I
work
don't
to
know what
do
this
for sure.
question. I don't know what this is. Are they trying to spam or I don't even know. Seems longer than 5 seconds. That's because you Asia. You're like you're like antsy. That's probably what it is. I think it's 5 seconds. It says what it is right there. It should say what it is. I'm pretty sure it's 5 seconds.
Just types
You
another
just
comment.
amped
Just keeps
up,
on pressing
Asia.
enter.
That's all that is. Somebody
Happens to all of us.
says this was a good question. What he do? So what did he do to get kicked out? So it wasn't like I said, he was a cool person. Like it wasn't like anything egregious, but it was essentially a directionless manager. So this manager wasn't really trying to win, wasn't really trying to lose, wasn't playing to win now, wasn't playing to win later, was playing to win now, then was trying to win later, and just made several lopsided trades that were questionable. I think that's the right word, lopsided and questionable. But I wouldn't even consider kicking him out. And then just at the very end, just recently, he declined. He put Najee Harris on the trade block 2 weeks ago. Got a great offer for him, a first round pick, a second round pick, and a player. declined
Pretty
that for
strong
one
offer, yeah.
person, huh?
Mhm.
And
That's a pretty
declined
strong offer, yeah, and declined
a
it.
good offer, yeah.
Crazy.
However you want to, you could say great. I think that's a great offer.
Yeah.
But regardless, he got that offer and then declined that. And then 2 weeks later, doesn't say anything, just zero communication. All of a sudden, accepts a horrible trade where he gave Najee Harris for like, what was it, a late second round pick? And
Yeah,
so
late
it
second.
made,
Makes
yeah, it
no
made
sense.
no
Yeah.
sense. This is, I'd compare this to whatever that team was, the Charlotte Hornets or Charlotte Bobcats, whatever, or New Orleans Pelicans, New Orleans Hornets, whatever team Chris Paul was. They didn't have an owner, and the brand new commissioner had to step in. Adam
Oh,
Silver.
yeah, I know
He
what you're
had to
talking
step
about.
in and
Mhm.
block a trade because it was like, what are you guys like? What are you guys doing? This doesn't make sense. It'll like mess up the league. Is that type of situation? So we reversed the trade, and I took the temperature of the league, and pretty much, a couple people didn't like were like impartial. They're like, whatever majority decides, but most people seem to be like, what, the league, the league's probably better without this guy. So we got rid of him, and we're moving on. I think it's, we need some fresh blood, and the league's been not as hyped as it once was, right? The marriage, it needs a little bit rekindling, right? Maybe you need
Gotta
to
have
put
that
on a
spark, I feel you.
maybe
Mhm.
put on a fireman costume, get some, some visual aids. What's like the best way? It's like the least like
I
most
don't even know
PG
what
way
to
to
say.
put it. Props.
Props,
Props.
okay. Okay,
Instead of
I
saying
see, I
toys.
see.
Toys a little bit
Gotcha.
PG-13.
I got
Props
you
a
now.
little bit G.
I
Yeah,
got you
visual
now, yep.
aids. I don't know what I'm
Okay.
talking. Yeah, I mean props. That's what I would say. Some
Okay, let's go with
props,
props.
toys. And hey. This is a family-friendly
Family
podcast. So
friendly now. I
we
got
need a little bit of spice, though, a little bit of new blood. That's all. I guess something I did want to get off my chest.
The
So
best part about bringing in a new guy to the league is that he's gonna right away have that itch to make trades, and also the other members of your league, they kind of know that, hey, this new guy's entering the league. He's gonna want to make trades. Let me send him some offers too. So naturally, when a new guy comes into the
yeah.
league, fireworks just start happening.
Right
And
away. I
trade.
see what you mean. Like right away, right
Mhm.
off the top. Jeremy, thank you for the donation. This guy just sends me
Oh,
donations.
nice,
Thank you so much, Jeremy.
nice,
And
nice,
he
nice.
doesn't want any like of the that's him right there, Jeremy. Just always supporting, always donating. Thank you so much, man. So this is his team right here. It's my podcast. I want to talk about stuff that excite me. I don't want to talk about the Thursday night football game for 18 minutes. I don't
No
want to
thanks.
do. I don't want to do that.
All
Like
right. It was not fun
it's
to watch.
fine.
It was
Yeah,
not.
it just doesn't excite me. Like that's all. So this is his team.
One quarterback league, by the way.
It's a 1 QB league, and he has Tua. So this guy, he's made questionable draft picks, but that's not like this isn't the point of this is not to rag on him or anything. Like that's not it at all. Like I said, he's a cool guy, but he did also needs a questionable draft picks, and one of the most questionable was, and now it's working out. Don't get me wrong. He drafted Tua over Burrow. And like to me, that was like one of the most egregious things. And it just kept seeming dumber and dumber and dumber. And now Tua's kind of better than Burrow. Like this year's been
It worked
nuts.
out, yeah, for
Things
sure.
happening. Yeah. So he does, and Tua's super young. He's paired up with a genius coach. And let's just Tyreek Hill. Like, let's not forget that. He's got
Jalen
Tyreek
Waddle
Hill.
as
He's gonna
well.
have him
Oh
for a
yeah,
few. Yeah, and then those two are the offense.
he's
Those
got
two
amazing
stud
talent
wide
along,
receivers.
for
So
sure.
you got Tua. That's good. And one of the questionable trades was he did trade a first round pick for Patterson. This is like one of the like, dude, you got to either win now or win later. Don't trade your future for a 30-year-old running back. Patterson's like over
Right.
30, huh? Like he's 30
He's
and a
not
half,
worth the
like
first
30.
rounder even today. There's no chance.
Yeah,
I mean, there's
but it's like
absolutely
if
no
you were
chance.
trying to win now, we just be like, that's lopsided. But his team's terrible. So it's like
Yeah,
that's like, what are you doing? Why are you gutting your team from both ends? Like he's lighting the
agreed.
fire from both ends. Like, what are you doing, dog? Like light one end. Like
Yeah,
Chris
no, I
is in
feel
this
that.
league.
Yep,
Couch
I feel
captain
that.
Chris Smooth is in this league. He's full out tanking. Like His team name is Bombing for Bijan. Like we at
There
least we
you
have
go.
a
Yeah. I mean,
direction.
that's how you do it, right?
Yeah,
I feel you.
we can question trades and have opinions. Like I just brought up one. Like I was like, I thought that was like the dumbest thing ever. Tua drafting Tua instead of Burrow. But that's
Sure.
fine. That's a move. And look, it ended up kind of working out. So it's like that's a questionable thing. But it's like you gotta go one way. You can't drive the car both directions. Like it just doesn't work out.
Doesn't work.
So this team has Tua, Patterson, Montgomery, Kadarius Tony, Nikhil Westbrook, whatever his
So
name
no
is.
one at receiver really of note.
Watkins, yeah. Higby, MVS, Justin Tucker, as we have kickers in this league. That's
Okay.
that's one of the more
Okay.
appealing, but nothing
Okay.
at defense, it seems.
No
Um,
win now defenses. Wow.
Matt Ryan, Heineke, Latavius Henderson, Najee Harris, Tyler Algier, Jalen Warren, Aguilar, Robbie Anderson, Darius Slayton, Sky Moore, Hunter Henry, Broncos D, Randall Cobb, Snoop Connor, Keontae Ingram. So before we go into the picks, that team's not that bad. You've seen a lot worse.
I've seen worse, but I mean the only names that you mentioned that were pretty good would be Tua, Najee, Montgomery, and I think maybe Patterson. Maybe Sky Moore.
But
That's
he's
about it.
old though for
Yeah,
this
but he's
build.
older, you know?
For
So
this
it's
build.
it's it's definitely in rough shape. I've had worse. I've seen worse and I've had worse. So I mean, I think this is definitely still something that you could take over and get to work on for sure. It's
All right.
not
So
at the point where it's past the point of return, but yeah, this is a good comment here. I'll let you take over on this one.
now we're trying to dox the poor guy, but yes, it is him who took Sky Moore. For those that follow along, he's the guy who makes the crazy draft picks. He drafted Tua early. He drafted Sky Moore early. Definitely made the video. Made the video much more entertaining. Helped me with my thumbnail. Right. I just put a picture
Oh
of a
yeah, for
pepper,
sure.
picture of a chili pepper, and a picture of Sky Moore, and that was the thumbnail. So yeah, that's him. I mean,
That was definitely the
there's some
spiciest
pieces.
draft I watched throughout that whole April May draft season for sure. I
Yeah,
did
and
not
then
see
Scout
anything
reached
else
for
like
James
that.
Cook. It was wild. That's
Yeah,
dynasty. I think you're in more leagues than me, so you know more. Like that's dynasty for me. You can never predict how the draft's gonna go
yeah,
because
rookie
there's
drafts especially. It's so difficult. I mean, after the first few names come off the board, then it really becomes an open door. But
well, even then, like I mean, Garrett Wilson could have been the first wide receiver off the board. It was usually Drake London, Traylon Burks for us. There's a lot of decisions. I mean, George
yeah, I
Pickens is
think.
a polarizing player. Like
Mhm.
there's and I've never seen it, but I've seen a lot of my peers, my fantasy analyst peers, had Ken Walker over Brees Hall. I'm
Oh
not
yeah,
sure if
for
that
sure.
was
There's some
dynasty,
guys.
but it wouldn't matter, right? If redraft dynasty is probably about the same since they're both rookies.
Yeah. Hmm. I agree with that. Well, I don't agree with Ken Walker over Brees Hall, but definitely a lot of guys, had that
No, I
opinion.
never even seen that in a draft, but two of my peers had Ken Walker over
Yeah, I've
Brees
heard
Hall.
analysts say Ken Walker is better at that time. Yeah, that's not surprising for me to hear.
It's
I've
not
heard that.
really dumb. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't
it's
agree,
not
but
dumb.
it's not really dumb though. As like if
Yeah,
even in hindsight, they're both amazing.
we're both pretty good. Yeah,
Yeah. So draft picks, I guess it could be worse. This is the kind of
he's got
issue
all of
with the
his. That's
team.
fine.
Should have got more picks, but I mean, for a bad team, should have more assets though.
Yeah,
Get out of here, Drew. We'll,
definitely.
we'll send you the invite. Which this is I'm slow. I like to
He's
think
antsy to
things
join in.
through. And look, I know I'm a smart dude. I'm confident now. I always lacked a lot of confidence, but a lot of times I'm the slowest to catch on. And one reason I'm smart is because I know I'm dumb at certain things. So a lot of times, one thing I've learned, I think this is generally good advice, but especially for my brain, I try not to make haste decisions. And so like sometimes I can't think on the spot and do stuff, but often it's better if I relax, I sleep on it and do something the day before. And I'm much slower at processing those type of things than most people. So I'm not gonna. In other words, I'm not sending you the invite tonight, Drew. I gotta wait. I gotta think it
Gotta
through.
wait. Gotta think
Make
it through.
sure
I hear you.
so. Now tomorrow, Friday. There's a good chance I'll send it, but I gotta just think it through one thing at a time. So I gotta set this guy's lineup first, and then. But he's got his for 2023. He's got his first, second, third, fourth, and then 2024. He's got his first, second, and fourth. So almost untouched, except he's missing a 2024 third.
Not terrible. Not terrible.
That bad. It's not that bad.
Because you would assume that first round pick is early. You can trade that down for more assets and just start from there. That's just a potential starting point if you're not going to move any players right now. You know, I mean, you can make something work from this, I think.
Maybe trade the running backs, you think?
Trade the running backs for sure. Get some more picks.
Get a wide receiver. Get some picks.
Yeah. Right now, this is definitely at the stage where you got to do two things. You got to, one, get more. You're not winning now, 100%. All right, you got to start thinking about the future. You got to strip some of these running backs away for draft picks. Yeah, and that helps too, right?
You mean win now, as in like win in the near future? Because
you're not
definitely not winning this year. It's like it's already.
You're not winning this year. You're probably not winning next year, homie. You know what I mean? So you want to strip this down for draft picks, and then probably from that, because you're still kind of thin on assets, you may need to take some of those premium, like the 1.01 that you're going to have in the next couple of years, and trade those down. I am getting a comment, and yes, the DB coach on the football team that I work for has told me that, hey, I should braid my hair and I'll look exactly like Nipsey Hussle. So that's funny. Yeah,
we
the
need
comment,
to give you
by the way, is,
another.
Have you ever
nickname.
been told I look like Nipsey Hussle? Dude is a legend, so that's a compliment. Appreciate.
We give you another nickname, like a playoff, like a mix between Dynasty Football and Nipsey Hussle. I'll sleep on it. I'll come up with one tomorrow, and then I'll just change your Discord name. When you wake up, you'll just see you have a new username on Discord, a new nickname. You won't even know.
Let's do it. And I'll match it on this Zoom for the next.
Yeah, there we go.
Sure. I'm down.
We will answer your questions at the end of the podcast. We don't got much to talk about. We came up with some cool topics. So we each came up with our own top 10 list because it's fun, another excuse to talk about fantasy football. And these are my top 10 busts of the week. Chat, I want your help. Who did I miss? Who did I snub? Or some honorable mentions. At number 10, we got Justin Herbert. I'm going to chalk this up as bad luck, or what I like to call it, the team is cursed. Lots of injuries. Let me just go over one little curse, okay? Other than that, this team has a lot of injuries every year. Justin Herbert suffered an injury to the same area as Tyrod Taylor, and the doctor who almost killed him and shoved the needle too far in and punctured Tyrod Taylor's lung also injected Justin Herbert, I believe is the same doctor, into the same area, but this time they used an ultrasound, I think, so they made sure they didn't go too deep and kill Justin Herbert. I mean, this is all weird. This is all weird stuff. So Justin Herbert gets hurt. He hasn't been the same. His whole supporting cast gets hurt. I don't think it's his fault. Oh, thank you, Drew, fixing Kyle Pitts is positionless. Maybe I got it right. Maybe that was a typo, but maybe it's what's it called? A premonition. Maybe I'm like Sandra Bullock. Yeah, she's in a movie called Premonition. Yeah.
Premonition, yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'm Sandra Bullock with a beard. Okay. You never know.
All right.
Baker's
probably got
that might help.
She's got Oscars, right? So
yeah. Hey, look, that Kyle Pitts running back. That's what people were. I saw some Kyle Pitts running back. Okay, never mind. No, it's a total typo. All right, we got it fixed though. At number 9, we have Mr. Unlimited, Russell Wilson. I ate his sandwich and then I had to poop right away on a live stream. Not great. And they removed the sandwich from Subway because of all the serial killer memes. So the Subway, they don't want to be associated with serial killers, especially after Jared Fogle. That guy was bad, and now they don't. Now we got serial that from Jared Fogle to serial killers. They're like, all right, we're moving the Danger Witch. No more. Probably was a hot. If I got it, that means it's a hot seller. It tasted great. I got
Really?
it in a
Oh,
I got it in a bowl, and I explained to the dude like, "Hey, I'm gonna film this." Tasted amazing. Like it
nice.
was
That's good.
great.
At least you got a well-made Danger Witch. Is that what it's called? Danger Witch?
Danger Witch.
That's so cringy, dude. That's so
Dude,
cringy. Oh
dudes,
my
even his nicknames are corny.
yeah.
Mr. Unlimited, Danger Witch,
Dangerous.
like
Oh god, it's
Danger
terrible,
Russ.
man. Ugh,
Yeah. He's like
gross.
he's a parody. He's a parody. That's what
He's a
Antonio
parody.
Brown said. I don't know if you listened to the last part. Antonio Brown, he doesn't know how to pronounce parody. And he says
Oh
parody.
my god,
The
parody.
Russell
Oh,
Wilson is a
parody.
walking parody. Like
Antonio Brown,
insane.
man. Quick question on
Dynasty
Russ.
Hustle.
Dynasty Hustle. I like it.
That's
Okay.
nice. Dude,
Okay.
that's pretty
Okay.
sick because it's simple. It's
Yeah.
crisp.
Dynasty
Dynasty
Hustle.
Hustle. It's a grind
Dynasty
every
Hustle.
day.
I
No
like it.
days off.
No days off, baby.
I
Dynasty
like
Hustle.
that.
All right, now we're talking. Now we're talking.
Yeah, I'm a
Speaking of
huge
Dynasty.
Antonio Brown fan. I mean, not
Yeah.
maybe not today, but like I was.
Yeah, in general, the
I'm
talent.
huge.
For sure.
I miss him a lot too. Like he's
Yeah.
me. Yeah, it's sad. What
Great
are you gonna
receiver.
do?
Speaking of the Dynasty Hustle, though, I was going to ask you. I know Russell Wilson looks really bad this season. I have no reason or no faith to believe that anything is going to improve in the near future. But what about next year? I have Russell Wilson right now in a dynasty where I'm kind of win now. I think I can run it back next year. Is it worth it? Is this a thing?
Bro,
Also,
do you
what is
see
going
this?
on here?
I'm trying to bring. So I wasn't trying to like make a
Oh
joke
my
or like
God.
stop listening to you. I was trying to bring
Yeah.
up his age and get some visuals. And
This-
player profile uses this. They do this sometimes. What the heck, bro? Are you kidding me right
What do you
now?
mean they do this sometimes? I've never seen this with anyone else,
No.
dude. I've never
Oh.
seen this with anyone else.
Oh, so I
Really?
use this website. Yeah, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, they put a Mr. Potato Head. Benny Snell, they put a snail. They should stay away from the Mr. Potato Head was bad taste, you know, like I didn't like that one. The snail is good though. Like it's
Oh,
at least
yeah.
it's saying something.
Sure.
And I like this too. I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like these are cool. Like I like these things. Except for the potato head. That was a bad one. But the Benny and they were right. He was a snail. Benny Snell is pretty much shouldn't be in the league.
No, he's
Like,
slow. You're right.
He's
100%.
he's horrible.
It's not good. It's not good with Benny Snell.
Yeah. So
So I see 33.9 to the point after this insane photo.
wait, what? They did it to all these guys?
Oh, Jared
No
Goff too?
way.
Okay, now we gotta take a short break here. Let's see what we got.
Oh, Brady.
Oh,
This is
let's
dope.
go.
This is dope.
Let's go.
Brady. I
When
mean,
did this happen?
how often do I look at Tom Brady on this website? This
Yeah, right.
Jared. What is? I don't know what this is.
What is this?
Oh, is that Vernon Troyer? No, it doesn't look like his face.
No idea. I have no idea.
It looks. Is this sexual? I just thought if,
You know,
it's,
there is an
if it's
angle.
not,
I
then
see
I'm
this.
gonna seem like
see
a
it.
dirty. Like I'm gonna seem sick. They're like,
No,
how would
I
you
can
think?
see this now. I can see what you're seeing.
Is it? But
I
is
thi-
it though?
I think so. I think. Oh, because what else could it be, right?
What
Like,
is this? I don't know
is
what this is. Is this like a Mad Max parody?
Mad
Anyway,
Max
enough of
parody.
this.
I love
This whole podcast is just a tangent. Is this? There's no
Becoming a-
content. It's
it.
just
Becoming a
whole-
parody for sure. Russell
Okay, so
Wilson.
Russell Wilson,
Ooh, those workout metrics, baby. Nice.
yeah, but I
That's
mean, he's
about
not
it.
using this though this year. He's
Yeah,
not
that's the
using
problem.
it. That's a tough question. So, number one thing I know is that I'm really trying to stick to the script here, but it's hard because this is such a weird case. I mean, he is a meme. We are looking like we're trying to get real stuff here, and all we can see is memes. Like this is
Yeah.
literally in front of our eyes. So it's like he's a cornball. I've known that actually, like people that I've talked to that know people in his circle also call him a cornball. Like I know I'm not breaking news, but this has been going on. I've been hearing this for 4 or 5 years, and I've noticed it a little bit on the Seahawks 4 or 5 years ago. But I know people that know people in his circle, and they all call him a cornball. And that was
Gotcha.
4 or
So that's
5
why
years
he's doing
ago.
that.
So the
Got it.
cornballness has definitely gone up. Like I said, I'm not breaking any news, but I was
Yeah,
I heard about this slightly before you guys, and I
sure.
confirmed it. But now everybody knows that he's like full blown out, like the biggest cornball in the
Yeah.
freaking world. He is cringe. He's a cornball. He's awkward. He's just it's weird, and it
It's
keeps
weird.
getting
Yep.
worse. He doesn't stop. He keeps going. And to me, this is kind of like an Antonio Brown thing. Yeah, he's not like kicking footballs and acting a fool in that way, but he's doing it in a different way almost. Like
Yeah, he's
nobody
fiery
does
for
this. Like
sure.
this is not like 1 or 2 jokes I'm reaching to make fun of. Like the dude is really weird and really cringy to a level we've never really seen. And it keeps getting worse. I don't like that. And his teammates don't vibe with him. Remember the picture I showed you?
Mhm. Yeah, no, that's what I was gonna say.
With
That
Melvin
one
Gordon.
picture from last time. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
And so the team, there's a lot of talent on the team, but it's not to get it's the team's not
It's not
gelling
gelling.
though. Yeah,
Yep,
it's not a
exactly.
team as in like you see that a lot with defenses, especially. Like they don't necessarily have 1 or 2 great players or anything, but when the defense is playing well, a defense is playing well. When the team's playing well, team's playing well. And these guys are playing below expectation, below their potential. And then you got the head coach. So I think that's the easiest question. When's that guy going to get fired?
He's been nothing short of a disaster in whatever games he's been playing. I'm surprised that he was not the first head coach canned. I'm surprised Frank Reich was fired before Hackett, actually. If you were to tell me to put a bet after like the first 4 weeks of the season, who's the first coach to get fired, I'd put everything down on the Broncos guy, but he's still around somehow. I don't know. It's a problem though.
Well,
For
he's
sure.
a new coach.
He's a
This
new
is his
coach, but
first
I
year.
mean, yeah, but it's looking pretty bad. Like,
No, it is. It is. I'm just saying it is rare though that because remember what's that dude Meyer? What's the
Urban
Jags
Meyer?
coach? Yeah, Urban Meyer. I mean, he
Yeah.
lasted longer, right? Didn't he get fired? Like, what week was that?
Yeah, but there was like an element of non-football related dysfunction with that
Bro,
situation.
if Meyer just chilled out a little bit and didn't go to the bar and like didn't kick his kicker,
I mean, that's a lot
he'd
of
probably
things right
finish
there.
out the whole year. I'm just saying, like, if he chilled
I
out a
feel you, I
little
feel you.
bit,
I get
he
your point.
probably
I
would
get
have
you.
finished. It's not like he was a great on the field coach either.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Like he was
You're right.
just as bad on the field as
I
off.
didn't know who Aaron Donald was. That's
What?
for
Oh, he
sure.
didn't know who Aaron Donald was?
He didn't know who Aaron Donald was. Yeah, he was like, that 99 guy is a problem.
And that was for real?
That was for real. Yeah. What a joke. I'm just saying, like, there's so many issues, bro.
That's doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. It's
Because
crazy.
people,
That's
casuals
actual
know.
Yeah,
Like I compare my puppy to Aaron Donald. Like casuals know who Aaron Donald is. Like it's
yeah.
I mean, the
Someone
best
wants to
defender in
verify
football.
that. If someone can find and verify it, go
That
for
is
it. But I'm
disgusting.
pretty
But
sure that is a thing.
Well, thank you so much for the donation. Definitely would be down if you have openings in current or new leagues. So I do have in redraft. It's easy to get in my redraft leagues, Jeremy. But this dynasty league, if Drew changes his mind tomorrow, I suppose I'll let you in. But I appreciate you, man. But redraft, hit me up, man. You can easily get in one of my redraft leagues. I have 3 or 4 redraft leagues open to the public, open to the Couch Fam community. So if you're following me and you got your money ready, which you do, you got your PayPals and Venmos ready and Cash Apps ready, you're in. And I don't take a cut, by the way, on any of the leagues. That's that VIP experience, baby. Because I'm
Different
showing back
styles,
the love you give me. Yeah, totally. All of them are totally different. Vampire League, 96 team league, first down league, an auction league. It's actually known like normal leagues.
So our producer on the side, he did send me a Sports Illustrated link. Basically, Urban Meyer was asked if he didn't know who Aaron Donald was, and then he denied the accusation. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Given what he did,
yeah, I guess
we're
we're gonna trust him.
Yeah,
The only
right.
source that denies it is Urban Meyer.
Exactly.
That's an unbelievable story, but I'm definitely not trusting Urban Meyer. Like, not whatever. This is I thought a producer's supposed to keep us on the rails, not off the rails.
Fair enough.
Get
Back to
into
the
a
list though.
Urban
Let's
Meyer.
not stick around with
So
Russell Wilson.
number one, the coach.
Yeah.
He's got to be out the equation. He's like the bad paint job. We can't go out with this paint job because this ain't that car's not going to last. So we need to
100%
primer this car. So the first thing that's got to go is the coach. So hopefully he's gone this year. If you predict he's going to be gone this year, that's good. Everything with the team is good. Like, they have some draft picks. They got some draft picks back. They got a good team, good receivers. Greg Dulcich. Javonte Williams coming back. He can catch too. He's been good at catching in the NFL. Judy. So it's like they have everything. So now it's like, but Russell Wilson, like, is this dude?
Is he
I don't
washed?
think so, man. I don't think he mentally. I don't. And quarterback is a lot of mental, and we see like Tom Brady. I was going to talk about a little bit this podcast. Now Tom Brady. He didn't look great the last game, but to me, he did. You know, I'm just saying what other people might think. I think his teammates were dropping balls. I think he's back. Obviously, the divorce affected him mentally. Very similar to Tiger Woods. And Tiger Woods was blamed a lot on injuries. And I don't know jack about golf, but I'm saying, like, just like golf, quarterback, a lot of mental. And we've seen it with Tom Brady this year. And I don't think this guy's going to be back as far as that mental ability to win like he did on the Seahawks when they went to the Super Bowl the second time. I don't think he's there.
Yep.
And that was when they lost to the Patriots, right? That was his second Super Bowl.
Yep, that's correct. He beat
That
Denver.
was kind of his prime. That and then a year or two later.
Yeah.
No, not the Denver year. That was the Marshawn Lynch era more so.
I think those were those not back to back?
They were back to back, but whichever the second one was. I'm just saying, right, the second Super Bowl. I think that
where it was more of a passing. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, where he was featured more and Marshawn was starting to be featured. So whatever that was, let's just say 2014 Russ, it doesn't really matter. So 2014 Russ, could he get back there mentally? I don't think so.
That's tough.
So I think the answer is no for me.
With that. Yeah. Okay. That's fair.
Yeah, that's tough, man. He's 30. He's 34. He's about to turn 34. I'm sure he'll post some corny ass video on TikTok. His 34th birthday. Watch out. Like, we'll be ready for it.
Yeah.
Like, geez. Get ready for the cringe video.
Oh, man. Let's continue the quarterback onslaught, I guess. Remember when Pete Carroll was a problem in Seattle? Turns out he wasn't. Yeah.
No, yeah, we can come up with a million of these sentences. We could talk about Geno Smith. We could talk about but everybody knows what happened with this Russell Wilson Seattle trade. Nuts. Isn't Seattle number one in the NFC West right now? Nuts.
Somehow, some way. I don't know. I don't know if they can sustain it, but I guess, there's not a whole lot of weeks left. So
they exceeded expectations. That's all I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl, but they're playing well. They got a bunch of draft picks. They're starting to build a dope O-line over there. Like, it's crazy. Immune Fitness says, as a Jags fan, I can confirm he did not know Aaron Donald. Barely knew his own players. He'd always pause and think for 5 seconds trying to remember their names. It was bad. So basically, to me, this sounds like the type of dude. He goes in, he drinks, clocks out of work like 1 minute early, just starts drinking. Like, he just doesn't.
Yep,
care.
There we go.
He's like, I already cashed in my paychecks. There's no more tasks I have today. Like, that's it. Like, he cashed in his check. He's good. And he was abusive on time. Like, at least be the cool coach. At least be the cool guy. You know what? You're gonna do that and be a jerk? Jeez.
He was on a power trip, man. The college coach power trip. Anyway, let's continue this.
Number 8, I got Matthew Stafford as what are we doing? Brains Top 10 Bust 2022 Redraft Edition. Number 7 bust of this year so far, Aaron Rodgers. Number 6, Keenan Allen. again, he's injury prone.
These
Number
names that you're bringing up are so brutal. Oh God, Keenan,
no,
Aaron Rodgers, so brutal this year.
Number 5, I'm in a league with this guy, and I was waiting to see if he'd add Foster Moreau. That would be weird, huh? He just adds Foster Moreau all of a sudden, like showing his hand. But you know what? Foster Moreau is not really that great of an ad, by the way. He's not.
No.
He's not.
No,
I'm telling you, because his Raiders suck. Number 5, we have Darren Waller. One of my peers, Darren Waller. I'm in a league with him. He's making moves in that league. He's very active in the league. He probably has the most acquisitions in that league. Yeah.
So that's how he's spending his time on IR. Good to know.
I mean,
good to know, dude.
I like when people are so like harsh on players.
Good to know.
They're like, stop painting or stop dancing, stop rapping, and work out on foot. Like, dude can only work out so much on football and look at so much film. But now that he's hurt, he can barely even do that. So he's in the league. Like he's on sleeper.
He's making moves,
dropping players. Yeah, he wants to win. He's competing. It makes the league so much more fun that all the NFL players in that league, they're all super active. At number 4, we have Kyle Pitts. I was fortunate enough to avoid this guy. Thank God. And number 3, we have a couch fam. Now, honestly, it was more so luck. I didn't go early tight end at all. Except for Kelsey a couple times.
Yeah.
And I thought that was dumb, but ended up working out. So it was just fortunate. I never thought he would be bad or anything. But this one, this guy's a podcast legend. Yeah, we have deleted comments. We got haters. We got people giving me advice on how to succeed and not be arrogant. But Cam Akers, I avoided this guy on purpose. Bro, he sucks. He sucks so bad. But the thing was he wasn't even that great before the Achilles.
He was okay. I thought he was coming on in the playoff run that they had before that injury. And then after that, it was kind of, downhill from there.
Look at what he did last game. 0.3 fantasy points.
That's the saddest thing about it is that, they were trying to trade him. They were trying to get rid of him. Now it's like, all right, we couldn't find a trade partner. We don't want to cut you for things just yet. We're still going to try to give you a shot. They're giving him opportunities still to, try to succeed. And then he puts up numbers like that. It's just not good. He sucks. It sucks to see that a talent like him, we're kind of deprived on what could have been, in my opinion, because of his Achilles injury. But that's just what the reality is, and you have to come to terms with it. If you're a Cam Akers guy, you have to start coming to terms with the fact that this guy is not going to be it in the NFL, partly due to this injury, but also, wasn't that great. And now that he has the opportunities, he's not doing anything with what he's getting.
And he's on a terrible team as far as their O-line and their running. They're not a good running team, and they don't have a good O-line. Rashad Bateman, honorable mention. J.K. Dobbins, too. Yeah, J.K. Dobbins was drafted later, though. Brandon Cooks, good honorable mention.
Definitely.
Number 2, we have Najee Harris. Fellow memesters are comparing this guy to Trent Richardson. A little bit of an exaggeration. He's not that bad, but he's missing the holes. And
we picked Najee Harris when? 7th overall, 6th overall in redraft? That high?
Yeah, he went as high as 4th overall, but
4th overall. That's
you could say 6 or 5. Okay. Yeah, 6. Yeah. Wow. That was a bad one.
Yep.
Yeah. He's bad. You know what? The most people get angry about me. It's just a weird thing that it just occurred to me, weird trend. When people get really mad at me, it's always over running backs. Cam Akers, Dobbins. When I show Najee Harris not hitting the hole, it's always running. Derrick Henry. When I was like, I'm really worried about this guy after 2 games. Okay. It's always the running back. Running backs, people get a little emotional about. I don't know why.
I've never noticed that.
That's a weird trend. Like every running back post, like people get. I remember this one of the Instagram comments was the funniest. Was like, this guy's just giving me praise. Like, man, your fantasy knowledge, your fantasy wisdom is amazing, second to none, Brain. But you don't know football. the Najee Harris post. Like, let me
What?
explain to
Alright.
you what Najee Harris was doing, what he's supposed to do when he missed that hole. And I'm like, bro, this is not the point. It's not about being a good boy and doing what your parents say. It's not about Mike Tomlin. It's not about the O-line. It's about winning in fantasy football. And this guy, who's the second biggest bust in fantasy football, is not helping you win. He's not helping you achieve your goals in fantasy football. And trust me, another running back on another team you could have. If you had Austin Eckler, he'd be helping you achieve your goals. All
Joe
right?
Mixon, Nick Chubb, guys
Yeah,
like that too. And then there's
basically everybody would help you out more, except for the number one bust so far this year, Jonathan Taylor. I'm gonna talk about him a little bit more. Well, should we just do that now and
Let's
save
do
your
it.
list since
Let's
it's
do
on
it.
top? All right, I'm gonna scroll super fast. There we go. Let's talk about Jonathan Taylor. So as of just so you guys keep up, okay, I'm going to tell you everything. All right. So he's been very disappointing this whole year. Just as of yesterday, all the analysts and doctors, and I was kind of on that board as well, was saying sell low on him, as in get rid of him while you still can. And I was subscribing to that. You know, wasn't fully on board, but I was like, man, this might be the last time to sell low. I told people to sell low on Keenan Allen last week. Like, get rid of Keenan Allen. Like, just get rid of him if you can. Trade him, go get an asset you can start. Go get 2 assets you can start, trade him in a package deal. With JT, I was like, man, this might be your last chance to sell low. Now I'm switching to more of a buy low. Now I'm still lukewarm on both ends. I'm not going to hammer this on the table and say buy low on him, but instead of me thinking maybe this is your last chance to sell him, I'm thinking this might be a good time to buy low on him. Now, there's no doubt that the Colts are a mess. They don't have that direct, like we're talking about the fantasy manager we kicked out. They don't have that direction, right? They're just a mediocre team right in the middle.
Right in the middle. Yep.
It's like they're trying to go 500 every year, kind of like the Washington Commanders. Like, what are we trying to do this year? Trying to go 500. Like, no, come on. So they're a mess. They fired Frank Reich. Now everyone's kind of doubting them, but I'm getting these really strong vibes with this team. Look, they might suck and they might be a mess and they might be a lot worse, but I'm getting really strong vibes with this Just Saturday hiring and what this team's doing. I don't think they're going to lay down. Jonathan Taylor's injury was suspected to be a high ankle sprain, yet he put in a couple limited practice participations this week. And just today, Thursday, he put in a full participation in practice. Deion Jackson is questionable. Philip Lindsay just got cut. Jonathan Taylor has no injury designation. So,
and the only other running back on the team is Jordan Wilkins. Then.
Yeah, that's right. Nyheim Hines shipped. So I think this is a buy low. And that's the thing. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. Like I said, the Colts could suck more. That's a very likely scenario. They could be a lot more messy. I think the real storyline here is this, though. Frank Reich was really that bad, bro. They really had to. It was not the plan to fire him in the middle. He was really that bad. And you know, I hate to bring it up, but the guy that we got rid of in the league, he was a good dude. You know, nothing wrong. Everyone got along with him. He was cool. That's Frank Reich. He's a good dude. Everyone respects him and show up. But, bro, you ain't getting it done. Like, it's not happening. You're whack. You're whack. The team's better off without you. And you know what? I can't even wait any longer. We just got to get rid of you midseason. Jim Irsay, Jim Irsay is a weirdo, whatever, but he really didn't want to do it. And he had to. He had to do it. He had to get rid of this guy. It was that bad. So we got another guy who's on board. Just traded Taylor. Oh, you traded away Taylor. Oh, you got Eckler, though. Well, that's great. I don't know how you got that. That's great. If you can get Austin Eckler, trade away Taylor, Garrett Wilson, and Palmer for Eckler in a keeper league. Your opponent must really want to keep Garrett Wilson and Taylor. That's fine. I mean, you got Eckler. That's great. You're probably in win now mode. Keeper league puts a little twist on that, so I can see that. But if you were in a redraft to get Eckler, that's great. But for me, Right now, I'm leaning more towards the buy low side. And yes, they do have Zach Moss. I'm a certified Zach Moss hater. Don't
What do
worry
you
about
think
him.
of the idea that Jeff Saturday, former offensive lineman, kind of brings that sort of offensive line influence to the team? They start running the ball heavy. Do you buy into that at all, or is that just like a thought that's not really worth?
I think no. I think that's what's going to happen. I mean, what else choice do they have? Okay.
I mean, he is their best player on offense still, Jonathan
Oh
Taylor.
yeah, that's Jeff Saturday.
I thought you meant
I
Jeff
was like,
Saturday,
what?
right?
I was like, dude, this is really dysfunctional. This dude's about to suit up. I was like, he lost a lot of weight. Like, oh god.
Could you imagine, right? Yes, I mean the
Okay,
smart thing
yeah,
to do would be to feed JT.
that's
but I'm
much
just
like
saying,
what's the
yeah.
opposite? They're gonna throw as many times as Tom Brady and Mahomes.
I mean,
No.
that's not gonna happen either. bro.
No, that's not
Yes,
that. That's a 0% chance. So definitely more a very high chance of what you said. Ground and pound. Use Jonathan Taylor, old school football, and I like Jeff Saturday. We don't know if he'll be a good coach or not at all.
That's true. We don't know until
But
we
I
know.
like him.
You're right about
But
that.
he's a good dude though. Like, you know what I mean? He's a good leader. He's got that. So it's like, hey man, maybe he is a good coach. We'll find out. All right. So JT, yeah. In short, to sum it up, they thought it was a high ankle sprain. Everyone was telling you to sell to sell low on him, get rid of him while you still can. But now it seems like, or they thought it was a high ankle sprain. Now it seems like it's a low ankle sprain and he's good to go. So I'd be more of buying low on JT. And the coach, the switching of the coach, even though it could get better, it could get worse. I don't think it could get much worse. Like, however bad
Yeah.
Frank Reich was, like,
So it was that bad, you're saying?
Yeah. That's why they fired him
Yeah,
right now. You
yeah,
know what I
I
mean?
got
They
you.
had to,
Yeah.
like, it was that bad. I had to let him go. Here we got a picture of DeAndre Swift. So this is what's going to happen with DeAndre Swift. I don't have the exact advice on what to do with them and whatnot, but I did want to give you guys some clarity because I think a lot of people want to know. So DeAndre Swift, he's not fully healthy yet. I don't think a huge chance of re-injury or nothing. He is injury prone, but nothing increased more than the usual DeAndre Swift chance of getting hurt. So what's going to happen is he's going to be limited. He's going to be on a snap count, and that's going to last 1 or 2 weeks, and then he'll be ramped up to 100%. So it's week 10 now. Definitely be on a limited snap count this week and maybe next week. Okay, so expect him to be at 100% as early as week 11, as late as week 12. So hopefully that helps you out. And I think Craig Reynolds, the third string running back, is on IR. So it's all Swift and all Jamal Williams. And a good amount of targets should be going to this guy because no TJ Hawkinson.
So it sounds to me that DeAndre Swift could potentially be one of those playoff type league winners for your fantasy playoffs.
If he stays healthy.
If he stays healthy. Yep. I agree.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Because the dude, is he brittle?
Yeah,
Would you say he's brittle?
Would you say he's brittle? Definitely injury prone, brittle. Yeah, for sure.
Brittle. Brittle is a tough word. I don't like using it.
For a running back, I don't like it. Ugh.
Yeah, you got to. That's the thing with running back. You got to be able to find a way to survive. Like, you got to be built different, or CMC and Eckler. They're smaller guys. There was a lot of worry with them, and they're trying to find ways to survive the whole season because their team needs them, and they're not the big 300 carry type of dudes. Yeah. All right, you have your list, so I'll just let you take it away. So this is Sushane's top 10 list here.
Yep, not necessarily the top rookies or in the order that I would suggest you draft them in, but it's a pretty deep class. There's going to be about, let's call it, to round it off, let's call it maybe 20 players that you can draft in the rookie drafts for your dynasty team that's going to be, helpful or potentially helpful for your rosters in the future. So I just wanted to, list off, okay, who are 10 guys that I'm going to definitely be targeting at some point in my 2023 rookie draft. So number 10, we've got a wide receiver from Maryland, Raheem Jarrett. What do I like about him? He is simply an offensive centerpiece. When I look at receivers, I kind of like to categorize them as, are they a slot receiver? Are they an outside receiver, X, deep threat, Z? Are they like CD Lamb, one of those Z now, X later type of guys? What are they? For Raheem Jarrett, I cannot figure it out because, he has the frame where he can play as an X. He's not an overly big guy, but he plays physical and has, good enough size. He's not small. He has the speed to where he can take the top off of defense, be that Z. And when you look up his usage, he's used in the slot about 50% of the time and used outside about 50% of the time. So this guy is one of those players, Raheem Jarrett, who is he's just used by his team a lot. And that's kind of what I see going to the NFL level. I think he can be a centerpiece for his future offense. Next guy on the list from North Carolina, Joshua Downs. He's probably the top slot receiver available in this draft. Not much to say about him other than probably going to need a late first round pick or early second to get this guy. He's super quick, very fast. You're going to love him for best ball, I think. He's one of those types of guys. Not quite a Z wide receiver because he's a little bit smaller, but I think that home run speed is really going to pay dividends. Number 8, one of the more controversial guys on the list, Eric Gilbert. He has not produced much this season because he has not played much this season, to be quite frank with you. He didn't play at all last year because of personal issues. There was no injury. There was no I'm bad at football. He has had some sort of personal issue that we have no idea what's going on, and he did not play at all last year. And because of that, his backup took college football by storm and basically buried Eric Gilbert on the depth chart. Why do I still like him? Because the traits didn't go away, man. The only thing that went away was he went away from the game of football for a year, and it just so happened the guy who was playing his position balled out. He comes back and he couldn't earn his job back because the other guy is insane. That's all that happened. I think Eric Gilbert is still a very talented player. And when it comes to the tight end position, I almost never look for college production for tight ends. When translating them to the NFL, I look more for the traits. Moving on to the next guy, Zach Charbonnet, right? Yes. Okay. Now we get to the good stuff. A year ago, me and Drew were talking about Zach Charbonnet. He was a guy who was supposed to be drafted last year. He was supposed to be in the 2022 rookie class. So it would have been, Breece Hall, Ken Walker, probably Zach Charbonnet would have been your RB3. In my mind, the way I saw it last year, I thought Zach Charbonnet was better than Breece Hall. So if you're getting that in your 2023 drafts, he's probably going to be, again, one of those late first, early second round types of guys. You're getting, in my opinion, a guy who is very similar to Breece Hall or in terms of fantasy value. And in terms of running style, I prefer Zach Charbonnet. He's more of a kind of like a battering ram, home run type of guy. Moving on to the next one, who's also a similar battering ram, home run type of guy, but he has a little bit more production and a little bit more receiving production as well, is Sean Tucker out of Syracuse. Basically, with him, he's putting his whole team on his back right now. Syracuse is not, they're not Ohio State. They're not Alabama. They're not Georgia. They're not supposed to be one of those good teams, but kind of like what you saw with Michigan State and Ken Walker. Ken Walker basically single-handedly put Michigan State, in really good standing, really good shot to make the college football playoff and to win, some awards and championships for that team. Now, while Sean Tucker for the Syracuse Orange is not, the team is not doing as well, he's basically the only reason why they're good. And I can say that the same exact thing about the guy ahead of him at wide receiver, Quentin Johnston, but he's so good that his team is actually currently, if the season ended today, they would be in the playoff. So he's balled out to that extent. Best part that I love about Quentin Johnston, he's enormous. He's 6'4". Right away, that puts him as the biggest wide. If he was available in the 2022 wide receiver class couch, he would be the biggest receiver in 2022. He's bigger than Treylon Burks. He's bigger than JMO. He's bigger than Garrett. He's bigger than whoever other receiver you want to name from that class. He is ginormous. He's an X wide receiver. That's the type of stuff that I'm going to take my bet on. He's really good. He is going to be a first-round draft pick in the NFL draft. That is not something I would have told you last year. So he is a high-rising commodity. Definitely a guy that you want to keep your eye on. Quentin Johnston out of TCU. What does that bring us next to? Top 4? Okay. The one that everyone knows of, Bijan Robinson. He's going to be the 101 of your draft. Saquon Barkley type prospect. He's great. He's amazing. He's dope. But the reason why he is not my favorite running back in this class is because that moniker goes to the kid from Alabama, Jahmyr Gibbs. And man, I don't want to be too controversial, but I do think today, at least, that Jahmyr Gibbs is better than Bijan. Straight up. He looks better. Couch, if you want to watch highlights whenever you have the time, just go side by side, Jahmyr Gibbs, Bijan Robinson. Just keep an open mind. You know what I mean? Just kind of don't have the idea that, oh, one of these guys is Saquon Barkley and everyone's saying this and that. Just pretend they're both two no-name guys. Watch them side by side. I think you're also going to like Jahmyr Gibbs a little bit more. More power.
This is from 3 weeks ago. Is this fine?
Sure, yeah. 3 weeks works. Sure. Yeah, Jahmyr Gibbs, most freakish running back in college. He's a better version of Najee Harris. He gets a lot of comparisons to Alvin Kamara due to his pass-catching abilities. I think he's really good.
But you're saying, well, Alvin Kamara's only worry was he can't be a workhorse. He's not going to be able to take, that was also a worry of CMC. But you're saying this guy doesn't have that worry from the get-go.
Yeah, so it's so twofold here. First of all, that worry does not exist with Jahmyr Gibbs. He has that 3-down size plus the pass-catching ability. Now, the way that the pass-catching ability kind of counteracts with the 3-down thing is even if you don't get, let's say you're a 2-down back, you can't get the full workload. The fact that in PPR you can still get receptions, you kind of have a way to get those points back. So I'm not saying that Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be a 2-down guy with pass-catching upside, but I'm saying that's basically the minimum. At minimum, he's going to be an average, high-end RB2 probably in fantasy football with the upside of being that 3-down back with pass-catching upside, true workhorse in the NFL, bona fide first-round pick in every rookie draft moving forward. I think that's what's going to be happening with Jahmyr Gibbs. He's a special talent, that's for sure.
This is why I was so high on Travis Etienne.
Yeah.
And good amount of people made fun of me, but now he's it took a little bit of time. It had a little bit of faith. I had to have a little bit of faith, but I got that dude in a lot of leagues. A lot of people made fun of me. And it took a little bit of time. Now he's balling out and he has that, he's game script proof. I mean, he might even be better when they're down. So
yeah, no, that's true because that pass catching upside, I mean, that's
we didn't
get it.
We didn't, knowing he'd go on the Jaguars, we didn't take him for the touchdown upside. That's not, we weren't like, a lot of touchdowns on this team. We were like, he's good. He's, very talented. Trevor Lawrence connection, and he's a great pass catcher.
Yep. I think all of the above with Jahmyr Gibbs. I think you're going to love him. I think he's going to be a guy that you want to target as well. If you're someone who has the 101 and you're thinking about trading that pick down to get more assets, going from Bijan to still drafting Jahmyr Gibbs and picking up another pick along the way, I think that's a really good idea.
Is Bijan safer though? Because he does he's guaranteed to have the 3-down roll, huh? More so.
He's guaranteed to have the 3-down roll. He's going to get the higher draft capital. And the most important thing is, in terms of the fantasy community, that pick is just simply going to have more value. Bijan's going to have more value than Jahmyr Gibbs. But I'm simply telling you, hey, if you're going to be one of those guys who drafts the player, holds on to the player, and sees it through, maybe you want to trade down the pick for Bijan and draft Jahmyr Gibbs and see him through instead, because I think he just looks better.
Are you a running back coach still, or do they
No,
move you
they put me at
around?
tight end. They moved me at tight end. Yeah.
So one of the things I look, it's gonna sound so dumb, but it's right. I'm right though on this. One of the things I look at when I watch RB film, it's such a like a Neanderthal thing, like, but it's so simple. It's how they finish.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
It works
yeah,
a
that's
lot
right.
when analyzing fantasy. So falling
Interesting.
forward and finishing strong. Because one thing I hear a lot, okay, coaches like, they want RBs that can pass pro. I hear that a lot. I mean, obviously, right?
Of course,
you're
yeah,
Tom
you need that.
Brady's running back. Like, okay, we know that, but like, doesn't necessarily get us fantasy points, but it's a requirement to get on the field. But another thing coaches like is RBs that finish strong, because there's a lot of coaches, they want an extra 1 yard. They don't need home runs every time. They want to gain 1 yard. They want to gain 2 yards. They want to set up the next play. And that's one of the ways I identified Kareem Hunt, by the way. When he was a prospect, I was like, this dude finishes really good when he runs. He's always falling forward. I wasn't playing Dynasty, and I wasn't really like fantasy football was something different with Frank Gore, but I'd imagine that was probably one of Frank Gore's biggest pluses was he always finished the run hard, always fell forward, like always went. Like, if you can carry the defenders an extra 2 to 4 yards, that's huge. That's literally 2 or 4 extra yards when there's some running backs that shy away from that type of stuff. So it's one of the things so I'm going to watch more and look at, everything else I saw, we just watched like 4 minutes of highlights. I mean, he's usually just toasting everybody, so I didn't notice too many times he got tackled.
Speed. He does,
He's fat. But I never seen I want to see the tougher runs. So that was just a highlight reel. I'll watch more highlight reels. Might even have to watch some real film. But I want to see him like during the little bit messier plays when linebackers are tackling him and stuff. How does he finish? Because coaches love that. Like, oh yeah, this guy's finishing hard.
Definitely.
Let's see this comment here. Gibbs has fast feet, nice juke moves. He does look really good. So is this a stacked running back class other than?
Oh yeah, it's a stacked running back class. Nice. Oh yes, because there's a couple names that I have not even, like I said, this is just my favorites. There's 2 running backs that are ranked higher than Zach Charbonnet, for example, that I have not even included on here. I just don't think they're my favorite running backs. They're better objectively and ranked higher, but I like these guys.
This is Sushane's list.
It is a stacked RB class. This is my favorite. Yeah, this is Sushane's top 10 favorite, man. To real quick, just to round off Jahmyr Gibbs and to move on, he's probably going to be, if you're in super flex rookie draft, you're going to need a top 5 pick. And if you're in a 1 quarterback league, it's hard to see him fall past 3rd overall, 2nd overall. You're going to need one of those top 3 picks for Jahmyr Gibbs. That brings us to the top 2. So number 2, Kayshon Boutte. One of the reasons why he is my favorite, why he's so highly ranked on my favorites list, is because he's becoming kind of like DK Metcalf, bro. There's kind of 2 camps. He has really the argument with him is it's really like what happened with this past the 2022 NFL draft. If you remember, at the top, you had one guy named Aiden Hutchinson, defensive end out of Michigan, had all the production in the world. He was a prove-it guy. He proved it in college that he can do it. And then you had this other guy, Trayvon Walker, who was more of a projection guy, right? He still had the production in college. That wasn't, it wasn't a red flag or anything like that. But he was more of a, he's got the traits that could be insane. The projection of this guy's talent, that's what this is all about. That's why we want him at 1. So this is kind of a projection versus production type of thing. But with Kayshon Boutte, the production has fallen off steadily. He had 1 year with Joe Burrow. He did pretty well. And then after that, it's been rough sledding. Bad quarterback play has a lot to do with it. But this year, the team is ranked in the top 10 currently. So even with the, below average subpar quarterback play, the team in general is pretty good. and he's probably like the third or fourth best receiving option on his own team. So look, it's not looking good, but you look at that picture, the traits are there, the projection is there. I am going off of that. I don't think this is going to make me look bad, man, because when I say the traits are there, these are like eye popping. These aren't anything like, these aren't like, oh, Garrett Wilson has this, Jahan Dotson's got this. This is ridiculous. We're talking about traits that match guys like Andre Johnson, Calvin Johnson, Randy Moss, stuff like that. I mean, this guy has the athletic and physical tools to be a top 10 receiver of all time. That's the type of projection that his traits can give us. That's the type of polarizing effect you're going to get with Kayshon Boutte. I'm all on board with it, and that's why I love it, man. That's
why it's so fun identifying prospects, because their quarterback might suck. They might not be used the right way. There could be a lot of haters. There's so many things, and I'm basically naming DK Metcalf, going back to my famous DK Metcalf video. His quarterback sucked. He wasn't used the right way. Also, the missing piece to Metcalf, he needed to be drafted in the right situation. And he was, because the team that drafted him may not have used him the right way. And I like how the Seahawks have used him. Like there's a lot of it's funny how some people, they just really don't think of that. Like one question I was like, why don't they throw in college? Why don't they throw Metcalf a screen pass? I mean, like if he's that bad but fast, I mean, why don't you just throw him a screen every now and then? Like zero screen pass. Like you got to I think it was Brandon Ayuk. Like, why doesn't he get any rush attempts? Like these college systems are so stuck in their own ways and doing things different. And I'm not saying it's bad or good, but I'm just saying it's just so wide. NFL's not like that. NFL's like, ooh, let's do this. Like, oh, this could work. Like, let's steal this from this team. Like colleges is not like college. Like they run like this certain system and like, no, like we're not giving you any screen passes. No, we're not giving you any rush attempts. Like they're just like that. Or they use their wide receiver to run a ton of run plays. Like it's just totally different. And you got to calculate all that. You got to use your imagination. Like what could be.
Exactly. It's a lot of imagination when it comes to these projection type guys, for sure.
The right situation too. And you can't you can't blow the situation out of proportion. Right. That was your argument, was why Sky Moore sucks. It's just like, okay, just because he's got Mahomes, it doesn't mean he's a great prospect.
Right.
And now he just got replaced by Kadarius Toney.
Potentially. I don't know about that.
Oh, as of this. Oh, yeah. Well, Kadarius Toney, is he one of those loose cannons?
Oh, yeah, dude. He's the loosest of loose cannons.
He's a very loose cannon.
God. Yeah.
He is a loose cannon. But so far, Sky Moore has been like negative. Like he hasn't. He's been
actually had a game with negative points.
Oh, he's dropped a lot of returns. He's muffed a lot of returns.
At the same time, he's one of those guys you got to be patient with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we knew he was raw. Like that's for So we'll see. But this year he's done. They got Kadarius Toney, who's a kind of used in a similar way on that team, I would say. Not exactly a similar player.
For sure.
All right, we have the next guy here.
Last but not least, there's no projection there. This is just everyone's going to tell you. I mean, it's rare to see a guy who's ready to go in the NFL when he enters college. It's even more rare to find this at the tight end position. And I mean, this is probably the best tight end prospect I have ever seen.
Hold on, we got to let them know again. You're a tight end coach.
Yeah,
right
I do.
Yes, you are a tight end coach. Yes, you coach tight ends right now.
Yeah, I got the position, which is nice. And man, I mean, this kid is special. He can block, he can pass, he can protect, he can do it all. He can run pretty quickly, he can get separation. He's got the body contortion. Look at that. I mean, my goodness, look at the squaring of the shoulders, turning back to the QB.
That was very much like a basketball player.
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
he didn't jump like not, but this is the body control of a basketball player.
Exactly. I mean, that's the type of stuff that I look for in a tight end, because this is the type of stuff that makes a special tight end. You know what I mean? when I fall in love with guys like, oh, Tommy Tremble, you can be, a hero or a zero. I see these types of things that make me say, okay, there's some hero potential here. With Michael Mayer, this is every play. This is every play, dude. When I can go back to a myriad of games and I can tell you, all right, I can just show you a drive. Forget about the highlights. I can just show you the first drive of a game, and you'll have 4 catches for 60 yards and a touchdown. He takes over games like that. Look, with Kyle Pitts, he's a wide receiver who plays tight end, and I believe in that kind of life hack, if you will, for a tight end position. So I'm still going to, I'm all on board with Kyle Pitts, even though it doesn't look that great right now. Michael Mayer is a real tight end. He's an actual tight end. His comparisons are Travis Kelce and only Travis Kelce, because I think he's going to be that good. I think he has the potential to be the greatest tight end who's ever played this game, because, he is the best prospect that I've seen for quite some time. And I think there's going to be a lot of scouts as well who say that this guy is one of those super prospects.
I think all the scouts, maybe.
All the scouts, probably, yeah.
Could you imagine a scout being like, could you?
I don't know which one would say it, but Couch, there's always those guys out there who they want to be.
Yeah, I get you, but I'm saying like it should be pretty much like, right, all the scouts should be like, this guy's gonna be a great tight end. Like,
yeah, 100%.
Should be a consensus. Yeah.
What I will say is that we're kind of at this period right now where, obviously Travis Kelce, in my opinion, he's the last one left, because we had, Rob Gronkowski. He's obviously retired. He's gone. He was really great when he played, but he's gone now. George Kittle, he's still balling out. He can still kind of dial it back a little bit, but he's, kind of declining a little bit. He's shown signs of slippage. Mark Andrews is hurt, though he's a little younger. That's good, but it's only a matter of time until, Kelce's gone as well. And right now, what we're seeing is we're kind of seeing in my opinion, the next wave of tight ends come up. We had Kyle Pitts a couple years back, and now Michael Mayer is the next guy on this wave of new tight ends. And I'm going to be honest with you, I play a lot of Dynasty. Tight end is hard to get. It's so hard to get. And what happens is if you don't get a really good one, you end up having to waste roster space and, pick up 3, 4, 5 different tight ends. And that, that's a waste of space. And, half the time they're a bunch of average guys. You don't even know which one to start and all that stuff. I see where this is headed and what the wave is looking at in terms of the bigger picture of tight ends and how it's going to look at least in my opinion, shape out for the next 5, 7, 10 years. And Michael Mayer right now is one of those guys who seems to be like that pillar of a top tight end for the next, the future of the position. There's only going to be 3 or 4 anyway, because that's historically how the position has always looked. We're not going to get magically, a decade where we have 10 elite starting fantasy football tight ends. That's just not going to happen, unfortunately. That's not how it's going to work. Unless some drastic changes to the way football is played happens, which is possible, who knows, but that hasn't happened yet. So what I can say is that, of these 3, 4, 5 tight ends at most, they're going to be good in the next decade. I can assure you this kid is going to be one of them. He's my favorite, hands down, it's not even close, favorite prospect of the 2023 NFL draft class. Try to get your hands on him if you can, especially if you're in those tight end premium leagues where you get that nice boost. I think he is going to be the next Travis Kelce. I think he's got that upside to really be a very special player in the NFL. I'm just looking at this guy play. It's amazing.
Okay, so this I think this is Dak. Because he's been week. It was so weird because I'm like, this guy really changes his name to the NFL week. So week 10 terrified. He's in the Vampire League and he's trying to scare me. So he's using Terrifier.
Oh, I see.
Remember, he changes his name. So this is Dak, but he has some. We got a lot of questions about Michael Mayer, so I'm gonna give them to you so you can answer them.
Sure.
He asks, who's faster, Kelce or Mayer?
So that's the one knock on Michael Mayer. He doesn't have that home run speed, but what I'm gonna tell you is that he's not gonna need that speed necessarily because he still gains that separation. He's one of those chunk play types of guys. Sure, what he's not going to do is he's not going to catch an 8-yard, screen or an 8-yard hitch and take it to the house. That's not his game. But I mean, a lot of those tight ends don't really have that game. Travis Kelce, yeah, he's fast for the position, but I mean, compared to a receiver, he's not that fast. Compared to a DB, not that fast. He's more of like a size type of thing where it's hard to bring him down when you do finally hunt him down. And I feel like you're going to get that same thing with Michael Mayer. But short answer to the other question, comparing Kelce and Mayer's speed, yes, Mayer is definitely not the same speed as Kelce. To address this question, concern over Mayer's speed to be hyper elite in fantasy, I don't have that concern just because he's a size mismatch. He's an animal. The physicality is there. The ball tracking, the contortion, strong hands, all of those traits. And again, he's an elite blocker too. So that for me, that means a lot as a tight end coach. Because I mean,
What
that
about
tells me that
comparing him to Witten? Because Witten wasn't ever that fast.
He's much faster than Jason Witten. I think Jason Witten is an exaggeration of us. You're definitely right. Witten is a slow tight end for sure. Michael Mayer is not that type of slow. He's not like fast, but he's not Jason Witten slow either.
Jason Witten was always very successful in fantasy. He was never number one, but he's always a formidable starter. You can win a league with him in fantasy.
Yeah, future Hall of Famer as well. I mean, the one concern I have about Michael Mayer more than anything would be his blocking, because I mean he's really, really polished as a blocker, man, and that's something that football teams kind of covet, especially now. You're kind of seeing, even in this pass heavy league, that some teams are kind of, dialing back the run game, keeping the defenses honest, keeping a balanced approach on offense. And, Michael Mayer being a passing threat, obviously, as we just saw there, but also being a viable running game threat as a blocker, that's going to take away from his opportunities to catch passes in fantasy. But again, that's kind of a reason why teams are going to want him so much. So that's really my only concern. I like this one. Is Antonio Gates' speed comparable? Rolando Ma asked that question. Yeah, I think there's a lot of similarities with Antonio Gates and Michael Mayer. That's a pretty good one too, especially when you're talking about the way they catch the football. Very similar. Yeah, that's Michael Mayer. He's incredible. Brock Bowers cannot be up here on this list. I'm sorry, Rolando Ma, because he is a 2024 prospect. He is not 2023.
Disqualified.
Disqualified.
I guess it was just a disqualification.
Yep. Otherwise, he'd be up there for sure.
Let's answer all these guys' questions that tuned in and stayed tuned in. What's
sure. Who's the RB who should go in the first 5 picks? Are you talking about the NFL draft? Or are you talking about the rookie draft? If you're talking about the NFL draft,
talking about dynasty. Oh, he's talking about. Oh, he could be talking about. Teams don't do that anymore.
There's one of them that a team might. If he's talking about the NFL draft, I don't think Bijan Robinson will go in the first 5 picks. I do think he'll go in the first 10 to 15.
Derrick Henry went 11 overall, 14 overall, 12 overall.
In that range.
Maybe, yeah. So yeah. I don't know. It's too risky for a team to take a guy where the Giants took Saquon, the Rams took Gurley, the Jags took Fournette, the Cowboys took Zeke. Yeah. These are proven to be wrong decisions.
100%. You're right. I mean, you're absolutely right.
Well, all those examples were bad.
Yeah.
The Rams won a Super Bowl. That's because they barely escaped Todd Gurley. Like, that almost prevented them from getting the Super Bowl. And Todd Gurley wasn't on the team when they won. So
yeah, all good players, but I mean, not good decisions in terms of the actual big picture of the football team. If you're talking about rookie draft, then there's a couple names that should go in the first 5 picks. Bijan Robinson is obviously one of them. Jahmyr Gibbs is another one that you want to target in the top 5 if you're looking at running backs. It's a thick position, man. It's a thick position at running back. So, late first, you can even get one there. So Mayer over Pitts, and by how much?
This is an easy yes for me.
Okay.
The first thing the Falcons need to throw the ball more. So we need to get that fixed. And they're not using Pitts correctly. So that
Yeah,
and that
so, I
could be
mean-
fixed, but I mean, I don't see it with my narrow sight, with my tunnel vision. I don't see it happening within the next year.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a more complicated question, I think, than just a simple yes, Mayer is better. First of all, in my opinion, they kind of play different positions, bro. Like Pitts is more of a wide receiver while Mayer is more of a tight end. So just from sheer, you would think, right? From sheer target share volume alone, Pitts would be more of the receiver type. Obviously, like you said, Atlanta's been using him in a very poor way. Even today, I think he only had 3 targets or 2 targets or something. It's
They
not
don't
looking
use them
good.
right.
They
They
don't
need
use
to
him right.
use
I got
them like, I mean, they could
the
use them
only
in so
thing
many
though is
ways.
I don't know what team Michael Mayer is on in the NFL. I have no idea. So there's no guarantee that he's going to be in a fruitful
Will
situation.
his quarterback probably be worse than Mariota
It's
or
possible, dude.
Desmond Ritter? No,
It's
it's unlike.
possible.
Yes, it's possible, but there's only like 6 or 7 quarterbacks worse than him. So it's very at most. So it's very
How about this?
improbable.
I'll go with this. If Michael Mayer and Kyle Pitts were in the exact same situation, I would say Michael Mayer is better because he's a real tight end. And by how much? I would say not by much. I would say in 5 years down the road, you're probably looking at Michael Mayer as your tight end 1 or 2, and Kyle Pitts is your tight end 2 or 3. So I mean,
Yeah. What
it's not
Kyle
really
Pitts is a
too much of a
very
gap.
Kyle Pitts is very unique situation.
Yeah.
But
The situation is the reason why it's
this is
bad.
this is the craziest thing though. Evan Ingram did what Kyle Pitts did his rookie year. And now Kyle Pitts is doing what Evan Ingram did his second year in a way.
Yeah,
Completely
I got
falling
you.
off. I don't know why. I don't know how. I'm just saying this has happened. Evan Ingram is also a wide receiver. Basically.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're both the same mold, same.
They got
prototype of a tight end.
1,000 yards their rookie year. It's never really been done. And then they fell off. And what me and you were saying was that Kyle Pitts, I said he could be better than Darren Waller. I think he will. You were even more
I was
confident in
convinced,
that.
100%. Yeah,
And he is. But then Darren Waller completely fell
Darren
off.
Waller also
So it's
sucks.
just
Yeah.
crazy. It's such a weird situation. So yeah, in 2 years, maybe Kyle Pitts is used right, and then it's like, oh, because he could be used like Deebo Samuel, he could be used like a wide receiver, he could be used like Laviska Shenault, like who we saw this game. Like he could be, or he could just be used as a deep threat. He could be used so many and in the red zone. There's like so many ways, but I mean, you got to throw it. Like they don't. The Falcons don't throw the ball. They have like 3 relevant running backs.
Yeah,
And
it's
Mariota
tough.
runs too on
And
top of that.
Mariota.
Like
Yep.
they just was like 4 guys running the ball. No one's really, and they spread it. They got Olamide Zacchaeus, some guy
Daryl
named
Hodge.
Hodge, yeah, and
Jesus,
then
man.
Kyle. I
Not
saw Tolafoyo, some crap catch a ball, the backup tight end or backup's
I don't
backup
know
tight end.
who
Yeah,
that
it's
is.
like
Ugh.
it's. I don't know how many yards did Mariota throw. He usually throws like 115 yards. It's horrible. How many yards
It's
did
pretty
you
bad.
throw?
It's pretty rough.
This was a lot of this came in garbage time.
186.
186 today, 129 a week before, but the 186 a lot came on that last minute drive in the fourth quarter where he scored
I'm
a touchdown.
surprised he threw 30 passes. That seems like a lot for Mariota.
It's because they were behind the whole game. That's the only
There we
reason. They
go.
had to in the fourth quarter. They couldn't run. They had to throw,
throw.
and that
Yeah.
padded the stats. That's where he got the yards. That's where he got the second touchdown. Hey man, game script is big in fantasy football.
Yeah. Going back to Pitts, what I will say is this, right? Historically, I've never once been into the athletic tight end prototype. That's not what I'm into at all. I did not like David
what are you talking
Njoku
about?
or OJ Howard coming out. I did not
What
like
does that
Evan
even
Ingram
mean?
coming
I
out.
don't understand what that means though. But
I'm
you do
coming
like
to
athletic.
my point. I'm coming to my point.
Okay.
Let me
I know what you're
get
talking
there.
about.
Let me get there. Yeah. So historically, I've not picked on these athletic tight ends. The only reason why I'm going Kyle Pitts is because he's the best one of that prototype of all time. And obviously it was reflected in the way how high he was drafted in the NFL draft as well. So what I'm gonna say is like if Kyle Pitts does not work, if he continues to do this and he gets on that Evan Engram trajectory, I think this is the last time that we're ever gonna pick one of those athletic freaks at the tight end position. At that point, just go with the real tight end because it's kind of proven if Kyle Pitts doesn't work, he's the best. Like he's the best case scenario for this build. So if it doesn't work, it's not going to work in the NFL. That's what I'm trying to.
What about the Titans tight end? What's his name? Chig
Okonkwo. Yeah. So he's the same thing, lean, muscular type of build.
But you liked him.
Yeah.
Is it just because this is super sleeper and that's the only the reason?
Super sleeper and again that body control.
But you say you don't like the athletic. Isn't he the athletic?
I don't. He is, but he also has that body control trait, which is the only reason why I like him. Otherwise, if he didn't have that, I wouldn't care for him.
But no one knows that guy though. That's the thing that's cool. Like he's a super sleeper. Everyone likes Jelani. We don't like Jelani Woods. He fits that. He fits that athletic.
Yeah. He's 6'7". He's like he's a freak, physical freak, but not my type of guy. It just so happened. You're right. Chig Okonkwo is that muscular, physical specimen.
He's fast. He's super fast.
He's fast, but those are not the reasons why I like him. Just so happens he has that. I like him for different reasons entirely.
I only like it because of the value, because I can get him in round 6,000.
Yeah, that too, of course.
I get
that's also.
I got him off free agency in Dynasty.
There you go, man. I think he could be something. We'll see.
I know he's a stash. Like I'm not expecting he's a stash. He's probably a raw player, and he's on a team that throws less than Mariota right now. So we'll see how that goes.
I gotta fire up Treylon Burks this week because by Mageddon, oh baby, kill me.
Is he even playing?
I think so. I'm hoping he has to.
Playing.
He has to, otherwise I gotta pick someone up.
All right, guys. I do have ask you if any questions you have. Go ahead and ask them. I will be answering them here. Amon-Ra St. Brown, still a buy low option. He's been a buy low option on this podcast for like 4 weeks now. I'm still on this. It's not because I'm a weird, stubborn person. I don't think so. I genuinely want to help you guys win. I think he's going to help you win. TJ Hawkinson's not on the team. This guy should be seeing 10 plus targets a game. And he's got the talent. And the Lions, guess what? The Lions won't be up a lot of games like they were against the Packers. That's a rare thing. We're not going to see that a lot. I mean, that was not supposed to happen. Aaron Rodgers was not supposed to lose to the Lions. Imagine if Romeo Doubs didn't get hurt on the first play. Imagine if Aaron Jones stayed in the game, and imagine if the Packers didn't suck. The Lions playing from behind, you never know what's going to happen.
Too. I mean, they're playing really good ball.
Jair Alexander always covers the worst wide receiver of the opposing team. So Amon-Ra would have been going off. They didn't need to do it. They just need a little Jamal Williams, just didn't need to do anything. Just let the Packers just hang themselves.
Let the Packers beat themselves. Exactly.
Yeah, it's over. Devontae Smith, not a great buy low option, but a super, super cheap option. If you're like me, right, you're frugal, you want the super cheap discount, clearance price, hand me down. That's Devontae Smith. I only know this because I talk to you guys. And trust me, every Devontae Smith fantasy manager is panicking more than they should be. He's not bad. He is inconsistent, though. He's volatile. So that hurts. But he's not bad. I'd rather have someone who's okay.
Baby. Boomer bust.
You can start him. Like, that's good. I drafted Brandon Cooks. I can't start that guy. I can't even start him. At least you can start this guy. Like, he's startable. You can put him in your starting lineup and hope something happens. And you know what? Every 3 weeks, at least, he'll blow up. He'll do well.
That's true. That's true.
Don't know if they need to throw against Washington this week because that team, oof, that's gonna be lopsided, but we'll see.
Big week for Miles Sanders. Oh yeah.
Tom Brady, kind of similar to Devontae Smith. I have a little bit more faith in Tom Brady. I honestly feel he's going to be better after this divorce. He played really good to me against the Rams, just people were dropping the ball. So he's looked better, and hopefully single Tom Brady is going to do better. And I know there's a lot of memes out there about this. Single Tom Brady, divorce Tom Brady's undefeated, this and that. But I was calling this before the game. So I was like, let's see how he does. And he's been better, just 1 game sample size. Hopefully his receivers can stop dropping everything, though.
He looked amazing at the end of the fourth quarter for sure. Like vintage.
That was vintage stuff. But bro, before that, he was doing okay. It's just, Scotty Miller, Mike Evans, these guys were just dropping balls. Chris Godwin's not back. Like he's not Chris Godwin yet still, probably because of all the injuries. Like it's his team, man. Like we'll see. And he's got a bye week coming up.
Exactly. It was one of those games where they could just move the ball a lot, but they just couldn't find the end zone until the very end. But like you said, bye week, time to reset.
Look.
Tom Brady
Man, single. They're having a bye week. They're getting healthy. Like, we'll see what happens.
All the signs are pointing the right way. Let's see.
What's up with Hubbard? Hubbard wasn't one of the couch fam guys. Who cares? I'm not trying to be rude against you, Tater Toddy. Like we appreciate, but I mean, like, what are you, a Cam Akers truther? Like, what are we pushing? Was I pushing Chuba Hubbard? I mean, I've been screaming Deontay Foreman before the season started. I don't know. I mean, who cares? Yeah, he's getting outworked by I don't know his name, Rock Blackshear. I'm just guessing.
Raheem Blackshear. Virginia Tech.
That was kind of close. Yeah. Raheem Blackshear.
Rock Blackshear. Like Rock Armstead, kind of.
Yeah, Rock Armstead. Yeah, I'm mixing like 3 players. So Raheem Blackshear is better than Chuba Hubbard, and Chuba Hubbard's just coming off that injury. He's not fantasy relevant. What did you start him? What are you starting Chuba Hubbard and Cam Akers?
Oh no!
You started bro starting Chuba Hubbard, Cam Akers, and Darrell Henderson.
Bro, he's tanking for Bijan. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, dude. What do you like? I really don't get this question. Like, hey, what happened with Trent Richardson? Like, I mean, what is like? He sucked.
What do you mean?
I mean, I don't understand. What's up with Hubbard?
Not good.
Like, was he did he mean Pat? Now, if he said Patterson, that makes sense. Like he's venting, like, hey, he was supposed to have a good, we started Patterson in Throne. We thought he'd get, 17.4 points. Oh, yeah, he's dropped. Yeah, you can drop Chuba. Okay. Can you drop Chuba Hubbard is what he meant. He rephrased his question. Yes, I give you my blessing. You can go ahead and drop Chuba Hubbard. If you're in a 14-team league, maybe hold on to him, but probably not. You're not even in a 14-team league. I don't know what you're going to do. It's crunch time, man. So, yeah.
Yeah, now it's time to start winning each game.
Dalton Schultz, I would trade Zach Ertz straight up for Dalton Schultz. Getting a lot of controversy on that. It's a bold move. Look, if you can get more, go get more. I'm giving you guys an easy trade. Some of the trades I'm giving you is hard to accomplish. It's not as easy to get Amon-Ra. It's much easier to get Dalton Schultz. Much easier to get Devontae Smith and Tom Brady.
Especially for Zach Ertz, definitely.
And we already went over JT. Yeah, so hit us up with some questions. I have some I don't know if you got to go. I have some NFL all day packs we can open.
I'm good to go. I got no work tomorrow. So yeah, I'm here for
let's open packs and answer questions.
Do it. Redraft questions, dynasty questions. We're up for anything. We got both the best of both worlds here, man. Don't be shy.
These are basically like sports cards, but they're NFTs. So I'm going to open up all my 5 packs. And this takes a long time. Oops, this takes a long time. So
what sport is this? Is this NBA?
NFL. NFL. Come on. It's NFL. NFL all day.
Okay, let's do it. All right.
We start off with the worst, though, and then we work our way up.
Work our way. I got you.
Packs. Drew knows what's up. I got 5 of them. All right. We'll read all these questions. How long has he been divorced? You just informed me. Say it ain't so. I
Oh,
bet
bro,
he
this is
gets
old news,
okay.
Dak.
Yeah, he got divorced like over a week ago, something, whatever, 2 weeks ago. God, doesn't it feel like forever? And it hasn't even been
It
like two
does. It
weeks.
hasn't even been a week, and
It's
it
a
feels like
t-
a
you
long
know what I
time.
was thinking during the game today? Because the game's so boring, your mind wanders.
Yeah, of course.
I was like, the Panthers coach got fired. I was like, doesn't that seem like ancient
Bro,
history?
that's a while
Bro, it
back.
seems like a decade ago. What's his
Wait,
name?
when was that?
Was
Was
it
it
Matt
not
Rule?
like
It's not Matt Rule, is it?
Matt
No.
Rule? Yeah, it was Matt Rule.
Oh
He got
my
fired.
God. The dude is like
When did he get
he's
fired? I
ancient
was like,
history.
that's a while back,
Bro,
man.
seems like it
Dang.
was inevitable. Seems like it was like 6-9 months ago.
Definitely before this season, for sure.
But it was just
And
a
it was
few weeks ago, wasn't it?
like 2 weeks ago at most.
Yes.
Like top
This guy's
2
the
weeks ago, Couch.
interim coach. Yeah, that's
Oh my goodness.
crazy. Yeah.
October
So
10th. Okay, so a
Tom
month ago.
Brady just got divorced, but it seems like it was such big news that like,
Yeah.
who do I
everything
start
too.
at flex? Give me a second here. Let me pull up
Oh man.
my
All right, so you got
algorithms.
Sutton, Judy, Thielen, Pickens, Rondale, Jeff Wilson. Wow.
So Jeff Wilson's a great start. Let's bench Sutton because we're terrified. So to
Yep.
me, I'm on this Pickens hype train because it's the unknown. Lattimore should be out. It's
Claypool's
okay.
gone.
So it's between Pickens and Jeff Wilson. And that's going to be really hard to distinguish. Jeff Wilson is the smart start. He's the high floor start. You should probably go with him. If it's full PPR, I would start Pickens. Half PPR or non-PPR, definitely start Jeff Wilson. But at least, I mean, I gave you an answer, but at least I did narrow it down to those two. I don't think I'm missing anybody. Yeah.
If any of
Between
those guys
Pickens and
play
Wilson.
later, you could always do the, see how your roster is doing. And then if you need that high floor guy versus if you need that high upside guy, go Pickens versus Wilson. So
Yeah,
that
but
kinda-
this one's not a big difference. It's not that
Okay,
big of a Pickens is more risky, but I have a lot more faith in him than because they're gonna have to throw to somebody. I feel like. What are they? I don't think they're gonna run it with Najee all the time.
No,
So
not all the time.
I pulled a bad one. I pulled a Texans kicker. All good. Keep
It's all
going.
right. Kaimi Fairbairn. I once had him in a kicker dynasty league and then dropped
It's
him.
It's terrible. It's all good. That's the first pack, though. It's fine. It's
Is that right?
On a side note, will Foreman keep up the touches in this type of production rest of the season, or too hard to? I'm gonna say yes. I am on board the Foreman train. I'm not gonna get off. I'm gonna ride it until something happens to the train, or I get to my destination, which is first place in fantasy, of course.
I like it. I agree. I think the only thing you should be worried about is Raheem Blackshear looked pretty good today, but I mean, I don't think that's going to be anything long term to eat away from Foreman. I think he should.
Foreman's the hammer, though, so I think
Exactly.
he's solidified in
over-
that role.
He got over 100 yards again today. You know, even
lot of
with Blackshear
carries.
looking really good. Yeah, a lot of
Yeah,
carries.
look, when he doesn't score, he's Derrick Henry Jr.
Yeah.
So in our league, I nicknamed him Derrick Henry Jr. as a joke, but he really is. He's a poor man's Derrick Henry, which is a great compliment, by the way.
No, that's a compliment for sure. I mean, that's why he was on Tennessee for a little bit, right?
It was his backup. It was his
There you go.
handcuff. So when he doesn't get touchdowns, when the Panthers are behind, you're gonna worry, just like you worry with Derrick Henry. So he's gonna have those games, and in those games, he's gonna put up 7 fantasy points. It's gonna suck, but like, what else options do we have? Like, he's a really good RB2, and that means he's startable every week.
Yeah.
So yeah, because of his role, he's a runner. You have to worry about those game strip games where they're behind, and he is a little touchdown dependent. But hey, we're starting Derrick Henry, aren't we?
Looks like it, yeah. We got no
All
one
right.
else.
Would you trade Jamal Williams and Judy for Fournette?
Oh my god, that spelling of Fournette is.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I don't like Fournette moving forward, but yeah, I think you got to do this. Just take him. You know what I would do? I'd be a day trader. Right after Fournette plays the Seahawks, trade him. Somebody needs a Fournette in
oh
their life.
yeah, oh yeah, that's a move,
then-
baby.
And if you really want to stick it to him, go get Rashad White during the bye week, and then we'll see if Rashad White's usage goes up.
Yeah, I like
Bro,
it. No, those
That's
are
how
all smart
recycling
moves.
works. You ever wondered how recycling works when you throw away the aluminum foil? This is how it works.
That's how it
You
is.
get a Fournette can, you crack it open, you drink it, you put it in, and then the processing
Next thing you
plant
know,
works its way. You
Rashad
get a
White,
Rashad
baby.
White, you chugging
right,
on
let's
that.
do
Oh
it.
my god. You got diabetes, you're good to go. You got 2 sodas for free.
You got diabetes, you're good to
Yeah,
go.
you're good to go. No, but
Classic.
you gotta drink that sugar-free stuff. Come on, that stuff's great.
Oh, yeah,
It tastes
for sure, for
amazing.
sure.
This new technology is great.
No, I mean, no. What you're saying is smart though.
Yeah.
Think about Rashad White moving forward. If you're a friend,
I'm giving this guy the blueprint. Look, it's gonna be hard to build this building, but I'm giving him the blueprint. Oh, I pulled a James Conner.
sure.
That's better than Kyrie Fairbairn, just to let you
He's
know.
back now,
5,000
James
James
Conner.
Conner. Yeah, he's back. He's relevant. I'll
Yep.
take it. People know who that is. And Brandon Ayuk,
Ooh,
49er. And
Okay, now we're
wait,
talking.
is this his debut? Okay, so we got his debut,
Hey,
Brandon
all
Ayuk.
right,
Each
all right.
rip is getting better.
I like it, Brandon Ayuk, baby. I'm
All
still on the Ayuk dynasty train. I know some guys are trying to sell off of that, but not me. I'm buying Ayuk still. Mac Hollins. So now that he has Mac Hollins, I'm wondering who to package with him or Daryl Henderson. I don't even understand this question, bro.
Okay, so you mentioned a bunch of crap names that nobody wants. All right, nobody wants to eat a Mac Hollins sandwich. Nobody likes Daryl Henderson sauce. You understand? Now you threw in a real name, Jalen Waddle.
Jalen Waddle, yeah.
This guy
That's what
also
I'm
has
saying,
he also has a following. There are some huge Jalen Waddle fans out there, so you got to give. You're gonna get no running backs for Daryl Henderson and Mac Hollins because you got to think like tater toddy. You're not thinking like. You got to analyze this. You got to critical thinking. You need some critical. You need to put yourself in the other guy's shoes, and trust me, those shoes don't want to step in a pile of poop. All right. So for Jalen Waddle, you'll get a nice running back. But those other names, you won't even be able to get a guy to answer your DM.
Nice.
Get her
Facts,
done.
man.
What's up, man?
Facts.
Give
Whole
us some real questions, guys. Come on, give us some good questions. Okay, I think Drew pulled one up.
Oh,
Go ahead
here
and
we
read
go.
that.
He just got offered James Conner, DeAndre Hopkins, and Jacoby Myers in exchange for ETN and Waddle. Good trade or bad trade? 3 for 2. He's
I
giving
like
up
the ETN and Waddle
Waddle.
side. It's easy. ETN and Waddle
Yeah.
side. Easy.
Yeah, for
Always
sure, right?
take
You
the
get two
quality.
best players. Probably more
ETN
productive.
is a stud.
Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah.
Like
Next one. Trade Adams.
Never mind.
oh, I messed it up. Where is it?
Ah, come on, Dak. Doing some weird ass comment instead. Couch, trade Devontae Adams and Gabe Davis for Nick Chubb and DK Metcalf. Devontae and Gabe for Chubb
This
and
is
DK.
kind of a no-brainer. Your only worry is Chubb getting hurt, which is like, I mean, you can't really worry about that. So just go get Chubb. I'm sure just about any team could use Nick Chubb. I'm assuming you could use Nick Chubb. Otherwise, you wouldn't ask me this. Go get Nick Chubb.
Yeah.
Devontae Adams is kind of a headache. He's good. I like him still. But he's kind of a headache. Gabe Davis, kind of a bigger headache. Just go get Chubb. Nick Chubb, zero headache. And then DK Metcalf, he's startable every week. By the way, we got lucky in our third pack. We have a rare.
Ooh,
That's very
okay.
low. That's very, very lucky.
Very
by
low
the way.
percentage. Okay.
Maybe like
Dang.
1% chance that happens. 1%, 3% chance.
So now
So
you
we
get to pick
pulled
one of these. Okay, here we go.
No, we just opened. We
Okay,
just
all
flipped.
three, all
It's
three.
already open. It's already there. But one of
Robert
them is
Woods.
rare.
Got you.
Robert Woods, that sucks, but it is his debut. It is a championship year, so that's
Okay.
good.
Solid.
We pulled a Robert Woods 8,000 debut. We got 3,000. Derek Carr, quarterback, not bad. This is also his debut. Derek Carr.
That's debut cards today.
It's getting better and better, pretty much. And now the rare, which we're gonna have more of these, but we did pull a rare. It's rare to pull a rare this early. Here we go. 1,089 Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott,
baby.
Let's go.
Oh, here we go. Now we're talking.
For this early.
Now we're talking, dude.
Dang. Wow. We got a Dak Prescott player melt. A lot of Cowboys fans. They're the number one valued franchise in all the sports. So I'll take heck yeah. Oh boy, this has been a pretty good rip so far. 2 more packs left. Each pack gets better, by the way.
Yeah, no, for sure. I see that. Tears up every time.
It's just I'm just talking about the stats. Like, it's just how it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
The first pack literally has just one common. You can't even get a rare. It just has one common card. So,
got you.
Dang. Okay. That's nice.
Dak Prescott, rare moment.
Okay.
I love it. I dig it. I dig
let's
it.
get some
Things
more
are happening
questions
right now. Things are happening, dude.
I knew this was Dak. Look, you know that's Dak. He loves it.
Yeah,
all right, here we go. Thanks, Drew. Go ahead and read that question.
Sure. I'm 7-2 PPR league. My running backs are ETN, Josh Jacobs, Kenneth Walker, and Antonio Gibson. I've got Tanyan and Knox as my tight ends. I was offered Kittle for Ken Walker. Okay, so he's got basically 3.5 running backs, and like he's kind of figuring out tight end every week, right? So he got offered Kittle for Ken Walker.
The trade is lopsided, though.
Yeah, it doesn't work out.
You're buying. We just finished a podcast where I told people to buy low on Schultz. Why don't you do that? You can get Schultz for cheap. Now you're buying high on Kittle. You're giving away one of our, like, who here hates Ken Walker? Like, we're giving away one of our favorite running backs in this community. We as a community like Ken Walker. I know that because I couldn't draft him in any league. And I always talk about him. Like, we all like Ken Walker. Why would we? Yeah, for Kelsey, this guy. For Kelsey, that's a great trade. Yeah, I'll take it.
For Kelsey, who's gonna do that
for
though?
Kittle, bro. Like, I'm a fan of Kittle. In real life, he's an amazing tight end. I'm a huge fan of his, but in fantasy, you know he's going to be inconsistent. You know it's not going it's not going to last. They have Debo, they got CMC, they got Ayuk, and all 3 of these guys have been great too. Ayuk's come along, Debo's still there. Like, we're not talking about scrubs. And then CMC, like, could be the best player in all of fantasy. Like, come on, dude. This is a terrible trade. Go make another trade. I know you need to make a trade. Like, it makes sense. Go give him a tight end. Go give him a bench player. Go get Schultz, man. And no rares on this one.
Should he start Pollard or James Conner this week?
Now, if Zeke is out, obviously start Tony Pollard, and it's not close at all. If Zeke seems relatively healthy, this is close, but I'm leaning towards James Conner. And the reason why I'm not being so confident in this, because I think Kyler Murray's hurt too. So there's a lot going on here. But essentially, if Zeke plays, start Conner. If Zeke is out, definitely start Pollard. Never bench Pollard.
Man, the fact that Kyler is hurt again is just crazy to me. It's always late in the year. I mean, at least this time Arizona is not even.
He's brittle. I like to use the word brittle with him.
Yeah, he's freaking brittle.
Now, one thing that the memes don't tell you in Twitter when they're talking about the Call of Duty comes out, then he plays it and he sucks, is also he always gets hurt. Like, that's more concrete. There's always an injury when his stats fall off too, and he's never the same, or it takes him an extra 2 weeks to get back on track. Because before the injury, he's balling. So he every year it's the same thing. And
Yep,
I
it's
get
my
it.
third or
The
fourth
Call
year
of
in a row.
Duty jokes are funny, but it's like it's also an injury. And it's a
Which is a reality.
significant injury.
You know?
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
significant injury. I pulled the Daryl Williams 5,000
On
debut.
to the next one, probably, I would assume. Well, debut's
Yeah.
not bad.
We'll read that question. Jamal Williams 6,000. Okay.
Real question. So pick one: Darnell Mooney, James Conner, Rondale Moore, Michael Gallup, or Brian Robinson.
Start Connor.
Yep, that's what I was gonna say that too.
Now pulled a Devo, not his debut though. 5,000 out of 10,000. So not
How many
great.
49ers guys do you have, approximately?
A lot. I have
Oh,
maybe
oh,
a lot of Devo Samuels.
That's solid.
My
that's
dog's
solid.
name is Devo.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on. All right, here's the last one. Last pack, guaranteed a rare.
right.
There's like, I don't know, 5-6% chance of it, the rare being a legendary.
Let's make it count. Let's make it count. Let's see this
Next question.
legendary. Is Amari Cooper for David Montgomery a fair trade? I want Amari Cooper. What do you think?
Yeah, Deshaun Watson coming back, you're gonna get a boost there. And Amari
yeah.
Cooper's already pretty good. As
Right.
far as it being fair, I mean, it's not super lopsided. It's not one I would veto. So it's fairly close because running backs are more important. But high tier wide receivers are pretty important this year because they're hard to find.
Yeah, that's
So,
true.
Shane, both of us would rather have Amari Cooper if it's just an A or B question. We'd rather have
Yeah,
A.
in a vacuum for points. But I mean, of course, like, hey, if you're hurting at running back and you want Montgomery, then I mean, yeah, like Devontae Adams or someone else.
But
wide
shed a
receiver.
tear while you're doing, like, cry while you're clicking on your computer, or
just
shed
like
some
hold your
tears
nose and be
on
like,
your
this is
tablet.
the way. This is the only way I
Yeah,
can win, right?
like definitely some salty tears
See what I
running
did
down
when I
that
sold
tablet.
Josh Jacobs for DJ Moore and Najee Harris. I just have to
Oh
do it.
God, you probably had diarrhea while doing that too,
I didn't like it,
and
but, I
you
mean,
probably
hey,
threw up. You
Look,
cried, threw up, and pooped at the same time. It was just coming
Yet
out
at the
from all
same time,
angles.
I know that move made the team better. That's the whole thing, like that's what helps me sleep at night,
With
No, it's
Nipsey
not.
Hussle bumping in the
Yes.
background.
Yeah, right. That's funny.
Oh
Good
God, we
one.
got a long question.
Okay, so he's got some
Oh,
running
God.
backs. Who should I keep? Oh my God, oh geez. RBs. Okay, this is way too long. So
I
it's
can't
RBs,
read. I can't
Alvin
do. I'm
Madison,
dyslexic.
Hines, Pollard.
All right,
Dude,
I'm gonna
I've
see if
tried
I
to read this
got a
question
rare.
3 or 4 times. It's not happening.
Ah, it's a rare. It's
It's
not legendary.
a rare, not
Yeah.
legendary. How do you know that?
Tune in. Wait, Tater Tot, are you new to this channel? Go to the main. If you're new, go to the main YouTube channel. It's called Fantasy Couch. This is just the podcast. This guy, I mean, sounds like a good candidate for Hack My Lineup. That's all.
Oh, actually, yeah, no, for real.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's just when it gets too. I mean, I'm dyslexic. I got ADD. I can't like operate your team off a message.
Yeah, it's very difficult for me to see when the whole team's condensed like that as well.
All right, we
And
pulled
he's
a
been salty.
9,000 Curtis Samuel
Curtis
debut.
Samuel.
That's
Debo, Curtis.
It's not good. That's not a good one.
That could be a good one. Rookie card.
Chris Olave,
Now we're talking.
rookie
dude.
debut, but it's a 8,000. All right.
Okay.
It's honestly going to come down. The Dak was a great pull, so we'll see if this is decent. All right, here we go. It's a rare. It's not a legendary. Last one.
Baltimore Ravens.
Paris Campbell.
Calais Campbell.
Debut. It's a debut. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Calais Campbell's a good football player. He's a great
they're not worth. No, they're not worth as much as all. It's series 2. It's not series 1.
I see.
He destroyed you. It's okay. Overall, good though because of the Dak.
Yeah,
the Dak was better than this, so I can't complain. 2 rares, including quarterback. So overall, it was good. I was hoping for better. I wanted a legendary on this stream, but it's all
Maybe on the
good.
next one. Maybe on the next one.
Yeah, maybe not. I don't know. Or is it okay there? All right. Any more good questions?
We can give it a couple more seconds. Otherwise, we can wrap it up here.
Man, I can hope. What's your record? He is in the Patreon league. What's your record in the Patreon league? You
If
want a
got
T-shirt?
3 L's, I think it's over.
No.
Oh yeah. At this point in the season, 3 losses, it's probably done.
Oh, right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because you might lose again.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can definitely come in first place with 3 losses. You can win
In
out.
total, yeah.
It's yeah, you can make. I think 5 is still, if I had to guess, if you lose 5 times in the Patreon tournament, you're still
It's over.
alive technically. I think mathematically,
think
I'm
so?
just saying. Mathematically.
Because I mean, you have to get first place in that to advance.
Yeah. I don't
5
know.
losses.
I'm just guessing.
Mathematically, okay, I see what you're saying.
I have
Dude.
seen, so I think I seen one team get in with 5 losses, maybe.
Damn,
In the
that's
3 years.
crazy.
Maybe.
Wow,
I don't know.
crazy.
You just have to finish first. You know, some leagues
Yeah.
it's lopsided where one guy is like undefeated or has only 1 loss, but some leagues are super close. Like I'm in some leagues, like I think Thrones like that is super close. Like everyone's 5 and 4. It seems like everybody's
Yeah, I got you. Yeah,
right in the middle.
for sure. Well, yeah. Hey, hopefully you can win it. It's tough to win. 6 and 3. Okay, you got a shot. I think you got.
You gotta pretty much win out.
Yeah, you got to win out.
You got a
I
shot.
mean,
I think
hopefully
I'm
you're
5 and 4.
5 and 4. You still also got a shot. Depends on how. the rest of
I
the division goes.
drafted my team's great, except I drafted Trey Lance, I drafted Matthew Stafford, and I drafted Brees Hall. Other than that, it's fuego. It's just
killer.
you know.
Those are 3.
Yeah, I got
killer
Kelsey. I got
Yeah.
like Hop. I got like I don't know Cooper Cup. Like the team's dope. Dameon Pierce. Like the team stacked is just unfortunate. Who should I keep? Trade.
Yeah,
I
no
need
problem
Art.
back for me drafting 2 quarterbacks in the same bye week. You're right about that. I couldn't even trade one yet, which is depressing.
You just got to pick up one.
No. I have an extra one. 3. And I've been trying to trade. You said no to all those offers I sent you. The Brady, Mac Jones one. I think you ended up doing like a rental deal. Like a
And it
weird
worked.
tight end
We
or
took down the number 1 team.
something. Great. You also
Davis
said no to my
Mills.
deal. You said no to my deal for
Well,
Davis.
Sully didn't like. Only one was we.
Freaking Sully.
2 of
yeah,
them were
whatever,
terrible. We won.
whatever.
We just all we needed was a 1 week rental. Davis Mills. We rented Davis Mills. He came through, and we took down a team
Why
that
would
was
someone
8
give
and
you that
0.
1 week rental? That makes no sense to me.
I
bro.
gave him
Like,
Zach Ertz and Zay Jones. He needed that. It actually helped him.
But like, do you how did this work? Do you like undo the swap afterwards? Like what
Yeah,
happened?
we just traded him back. Yeah. So I said I need a quarterback rent. By the way, guys, this is for a super flex league, first down league. So you get points for first downs. We had 2 quarterbacks on bye, and we have Matt Ryan, who is not playing. So I said, hey, somebody trade me a quarterback or give me a quarterback 1 week rental. Now, the first guy who's a huge fan of this show, Val, offered me Trevor Lawrence, but somebody pointed out that it would hurt his team. And I'm like, because I'm a stand-up guy, I'm like, nah, we can't, like, it can't be like collusion. So, like,
got you.
I'm trying to do it with somebody who I'm going to help them win, or if it's a rental, they got to have 3 quarterbacks. Like, I'm not just going to, like, make your team worse. So, Cash had Davis Mills on the bench. He wasn't using him. But I didn't look at his team, but I assume his team sucked. He needed a flex, and his tight end was on. He had no tight end, so he gave me Logan Thomas, who didn't do anything, and we gave him Zach Ertz, and he's like, "Give me any wide receiver on your bench, like who I just need somebody to start." I think we gave him Zay Jones, so we gave him some starters that helped him, and he gave us Davis Mills, who he wasn't using. And we won. You should be congratulating us. Oh, I don't know. Probably doesn't help you, but we took down the 8 and 0 team, undefeated team, without a quarterback, nothing. Biggest upset in fantasy football.
With 3 quarterbacks waiting
when someone's gonna need a quarterback, and
You should have sent us a better offer. We would have took it. I like Brady.
I'm not.
So-
I can't send you anything lower than that. It's a super
Well,
flex
why
league,
not?
bro.
We're good. We got Burrow. We're good. No, wait. What do we have? Oh, we got
Yeah.
Russell Wilson and Jimmy G. My God.
In this league, Brady's 40 points every week is gonna give me more than, for example, Devontae Adams or whatever receivers I was asking for, McLaurin or
Yeah,
whatever.
Tom Brady. Hey, I
Yeah,
like
well,
Tom. Maybe we can make a trade still. Tom
I'm
Brady's
still
on
looking to
my
move a QB,
bylaw.
man. I'm still looking to move a QB, so we can talk.
I'll take Tom Brady. I'll take single Tom Brady.
All right. Well, Dak.
Hey,
right, yeah,
this
we'll
trade
talk-
might
we'll
help
talk.
you win.
talk.
All right, yeah,
We'll talk.
I might, yeah. Send me and Sully a better offer. Send
Yeah.
us Tom Brady. We'll look at
All
it.
right.
But yeah, there's two of us, so it's harder to get over.
That is true. I'm not. I'm definitely trying to get one over for sure.
Get her done. Thank you so much for the donation. This will be our last question, then we'll end this podcast. Get her done asks Dak or Jimmy G. Okay, so this one, it is really close, but I think we just by default have to say Dak.
Isn't
Yeah.
it the Chargers?
Yeah,
The 49ers? I'm going Jimmy G because I think the
I'm going
Chargers
Dak.
do nothing on defense that scares me. Yeah, I know it's Garoppolo. I know he's not,
Not a lot
sexy
of
upside type of play. But I think this is one of those games where he just carves up a defense that has not been
He
playing
doesn't
well.
have to do much. He could throw to Kittle, Debo, and CMC behind the line of scrimmage. And I like Jimmy G as a great start this week, great spot start. But I'm gonna go with Dak. I actually have him probably ranked
neck.
right next to each other. Yeah, on my ranking, something like that. So it is close, and my co-host says Jimmy G, which is just fine because they're so close. Olave or Godwin. Let's just not bench Olave. I'm with the not benching Olave. Don't bench Olave.
Godwin's still
Yeah.
hurt-ish too, right?
He's
Kind of,
well,
not
he's
100%.
not. I think he's got like 0 touchdowns. He hasn't looked great. So he's a fine start this week. But when you have Olave, don't start him. And he's my bold prediction as to finish as a top 6 wide receiver this week. All right, guys,
Ooh.
we're gonna end it on that. Sushane's
What a
gonna
note
send
to
me
end
a trade with Tom Brady. We'll see if we
Oh, yeah.
accept it on the next podcast. Everybody take care. Peace out.